Batterdays. Batterdays. Omnidog in the Minister of Comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the bat. Batterdays. 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 In the BatCave.
Rock out.
I don't want anyone to tell me that didn't work. Good evening and welcome to Baturdays in the BatCave with the most awesome introduction ever in the history of YouTube. I think so because I've watched lots of YouTube. No, I haven't. Okay. Thanks to Geo who helped create that, and of course Nate who wrote the song and did the animation, but Geo threw in a bunch of that great stuff. There we go. Flawlessly executed. That was awesome. Thank you. Now that's an intro from Who Are These People and Where Did They Omnidog? Now that's an intro. And Lloyd Wong is here to remind us about Dying Breed Collectors. Thank goodness for Lloyd. Let's see. Happy October, Mr. Awesome. What's up? What should I read for Halloween? I haven't read much horror except Something is Killing the Children. Well, we can certainly talk about that. We're going to talk about underrated DC and Vertigo underrated books. But the first tangent, the winner is... All right, let's go back to it. Okay. We Are Venomnidog. Very good. The first tangent will definitely not involve how I put Weezer and the Ramones in the same sentence. Candace is the winner. I think the first tangent tonight will involve food, candy, or soda pop. It's actually a blend of all three because I got Monster Mash.
It's the Monster Mash.
All the cereals from Monster Mash, from the Monster cereals, are in this one box, and I'm going to be eating it right now. I'm going to try and eat this entire box. So you could see me get sick on air, or you could see me have fun on air. Well, I'm going to have fun first. Here it is. Whoops, sorry. Here's the milk. What is this cereal? So I pour the milk on.
That's very Jerry Seinfeld of you to have cereal.
Right?
And Seinfeld's on Netflix now, so we can celebrate about that. I had 2 months of no Seinfeld in my life.
Oh my gosh. I'm genuinely surprised you made it. You are, I would say, the biggest Seinfeld fan I've ever encountered.
And Curb Your Enthusiasm starts in 3 weeks, so that's awesome too.
That is awesome. I didn't send you the picture of Larry David at the Rams game, though, did I?
No, but
he looked so miserable. He looked, I don't know if he's a Buccaneers fan or what it is, but he looked absolutely miserable.
He just has a resting miserable face. But I think the show, the fictionalized version of Larry David, isn't exactly who he is. I mean, I think it's him to the extreme. Everything I hear about him, he's a really nice guy who people really love to work with. I think it's just a very fictionalized version of himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard, at least. And I cannot wait for that show to be back on. I'm excited to see Larry David tackle the pandemic and see what he does with it. I love the tagline of this season. The world has changed, but he hasn't.
Let me turn off Facebook because it's making noise. Doink.
I think that's you chewing your cereal.
No, I'm not beeping. I guess I shouldn't chew this close to the mic.
Now this is great television. This is kind of like that episode you did of your old show in the 90s where you ate cereal with that guy in the cereal collection.
I should get my robe.
You really should go get it. I should take some questions from the chat while you get your robe. Out of your sweater closet. Wait, is it in the sweater closet? Or is it in
I don't think
closet?
that's where my robe is.
Is that in the bathrobe? Is that in the bathrobe closet?
I think it's in our bedroom and my wife's already asleep.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I love the end of that one episode where it's just you in a bathrobe eating cereal. There's never been an MCU end credit scene that's been better than that. They can't top that. There's never been an MCU end credit scene that's better than the credits rolling while Jess is eating cereal in a robe or dancing like a bebop dance to Elvis Presley. And
all those get copyright hits and demonetized because I use so much music. The cable access channel could handle the music. I think they had a license for regular music, but YouTube doesn't allow it. And so I don't even turn on the monetize button, but I still get a hit, not a copyright hit. Those are like, I get a copyright hit, but not a copyright strike. Those are deadly.
Well, speaking of cereal, snacks, and soda pop, I asked Tyler this question yesterday. What is the worst pop in your opinion?
Soda pop?
Yeah.
You didn't see The Simpsons, darn it, where he had a choice between Mountain Dew and crab juice.
Like made of actual crabs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes,
that's a tough one.
I'll take the crab juice.
That's like the episode of Family Guy where Stewie's in the desert and he sees a Coca-Cola machine. He gets close to it and he realized it was a mirage. It was actually an RC Cola machine. He goes, never mind. The funny thing about RC Cola that nobody drinks, by the way, is it's the official drink of the PPG Paints Arena where the Penguins play in Pittsburgh. Have you ever heard of an arena or a stadium that serves RC Cola and not Pepsi or Coke?
They serve RC Cola there?
Isn't that so weird? I've never seen that anywhere else, anywhere.
Wow, that must have cost them a fortune.
It must have. I mean, the Penguins are a pretty big deal here too, and there's a lot of games, so that's a lot. That's a lot of sponsorship there. So, what do you think is the worst soda pop, as you would say? And I would say pop.
Yeah, pop. I get soda. You're asking me what the worst one is?
In your opinion, I'm just curious.
Regular or diet?
Just any. It can be anything.
Well, I hate Diet A&W or Diet Barks root beer. I don't like the taste of Barks. It's super artificial.
I hate Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is my least favorite. Although I did discover a new least favorite that I thought I was going to love. And so I'm a big fan of Dr. Pepper like Tyler is. And he said, you need to try cherry Dr. Pepper, which I thought was going to be a slam dunk for me because my favorite pop is wild cherry Pepsi. It made me feel sick. I hated it. I couldn't even finish it. It was absolutely disgusting to me. And I was so disappointed. So I was really surprised. I think Mountain Dew is still my least favorite though.
This is actually very awkward. I don't think I'm going to eat more than one bowl. I left a Washington Nationals game with a friend in 2019. We went on my birthday, and they were handing out samples of orange, not orange Coke. I think it was orange vanilla Coke, regular and diet. There's an orange Coke out there. And the diet tasted remarkably bad. It was hideous. I spit it out like in front of the Coke guy. I said, I cannot drink this. And he was like, whoa, okay. How about if you move away from the products, sir?
You spit all over the counter. I'm taking my business elsewhere. And Goes to Walk says that Arby's used to have RC Cola products only. That's surprising and gross.
Huh. Well, I think RC Cola is still popular in the South, isn't it?
I think Coca-Cola is the really popular one. That cherry wine, is that what it's called?
Cheerwine.
Cheerwine, that's what it is.
Cheerwine's great.
That's really popular down south. Whenever we've done mission trips to West Virginia, they drink Cheerwine all the time.
Cheerwine's awesome. Okay, this is ridiculous. Sorry.
As much as I enjoy watching you eat cereal.
My verdict is this is pretty good, but my favorite is Yummy Mummy. Yummy Mummy came out in it used to come out, I think back in the 80s, they'd have it every Halloween. Then they discontinued it, but it came back for a year in 2014, 2015. I ate 42 boxes of Yummy Mummy. And they also brought back out Fruit Brute, which is also included in here. Fruit Brute was amazing too, but Yummy Mummy was the best of them all. Better than Count Chocula. I know that's a shock to people, but Yummy Mummy is amazing.
And it's a rare thing for you to eat cereal, right?
Yeah, I generally don't eat it at all. I'm sure I'm going to fall asleep as soon as the show's over.
That's one thing where food never makes me tired or make me fall asleep, except for maybe Thanksgiving. That's about the only meal I could think of that makes me want. It's the turkey.
Tryptophan and the turkey.
I think that's pretty much it. I've always wanted to create a restaurant where you're sitting in a recliner, and when you're done, you can just lean back and just take a nap and watch TV. You get like an hour in this private room, and you can take a nap. You can do whatever. You can just chill out after you're done eating. And then there's
That's
an alarm
what you do in the private
up.
room. That's why you're a minister.
Well, I didn't want it to go down that route.
No, I agree. This is interesting. I've had Inca Cola when I go to get Peruvian chicken. I'm not a fan of Inca Cola, says MM40, a host I listen to on sports radio. There's your first mistake, sports radio. About 10 years ago said he loved it. It tasted like bubble gum, but bad bubble gum. Is that a Seinfeld reference? Jerry can't do a threesome because then he'd have to start wearing robes and buy lotions. Here's Prisco. How's it going, Prisco? I do not like Pepsi. Way too sweet.
I like regular Coke better than regular Pepsi, but Wild Cherry Pepsi is better than anything else, in my opinion.
I do like Wild Cherry Pepsi a lot. I'll tell you one thing I can't drink that I think was created for younger people only. I mean, I'm kept young, I think, by my love for nerdy things. So I think that's why I get along so well with you guys. Like,
in this avatar, you look like that Steve Buscemi meme. What's up, my fellow kids?
What's up, my fellow kids? So I hung out with Riley. I hung out with Gabe. They're both half my age. I've hung out with you, and things go fine. I think we vibe the same. We like the same things, and I think it's kept my personality young. But God bless America. I cannot stand the taste of energy drinks.
Ew, I hate them too. Red Bull.
Ooh.
What's that? Rockstar. I can't think. I don't even know their names. So I never drink them. I hate them.
There's like 45 of them, and they come in different sizes, different flavors, diet. That's what Tyler starts his day with every day. At that and a big thing of gummy bears. But I don't know how he can stand the taste. He loves Dr. Pepper so much, but those energy drinks, they taste awful.
I never supplement my mood or my energy with an energy drink because pop doesn't really do much for my energy. It doesn't really make me more awake or more energetic. And I hate coffee. I hate the taste of coffee. And I also hate energy drinks. So there's nothing really that boosts my energy in terms of liquids.
Yeah.
All I wanted was a Pepsi Omni Dog. That sounds like quite the mixture that I do not want to consume.
I used to mix Skittles with an energy drink.
That's a stomachache waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah. I remember we did an episode of Omni Bros in 2017, I think, where we did Dew Bombs.
I remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember what was in them besides. I think it was energy drinks and Mountain Dews mixed together. But for some reason, I feel like they were slushy. I almost went to the ER. My heart rate was so high. I almost literally burst out of my skin practically. I drank so many Dew Bombs. I can't think it was energy. You picked an energy drink at a Mountain Dew of your choice and mixed them together. And we did Dew Bombs the whole night. And wow. It was awful. Tried Red Bull once and spit it out immediately. Cameron DeCateau says Red Bull is gross. I totally agree with you. Speaking of turkey, you remember the Seinfeld where Kramer uses butter sundae on the roof? I remember
the butter shave episode.
Yeah, Newman looking at him and Kramer's going, "What's up, buddy?" And Kramer's looking at him like he's a turkey.
His arms like this, waving. It's like a wing. And then he goes, "What is this, parsley?" he tries to eat him. I love that episode where Jerry tries to bomb intentionally because he wants Banya to bomb, who comes after him. Banya.
Banya.
And he's like,
gold, Jerry, gold.
And Kramer's trying to like say, "Oh, it didn't go that bad." He's like, "What about that guy who shouted out? He had cancer." Remember that? And he's like, what about the cancer bit? That killed. What the guy who yelled out he had cancer? And laughter's the best medicine. I always love that one.
Banya. I need to watch those Banya episodes again.
Remember his joke that he wrote for Banya?
No.
Why is it called Ovaltine? It's called Roundtine. The can is round. The cup is round.
The jar is round. That's right.
And he has to take him to Mendy's to give him a meal of a bet that he lost. And like, soup isn't a meal. I want a meal. He's like, this is the meal. So many good Banya episodes.
Is that actor who did Banya, is he a famous comedian? I
don't think so. He's just a bunch of random sitcoms.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he could be. I don't. Maybe he is a comedian. Not that I know of, though.
Sometimes Seinfeld will work in comedians like the snarky doorman, the elevator guy. They'd go. I can't remember where they were. It might have been a new doorman at Elaine's building or something, but it was the bald, snarky doorman, and he was a famous comedian or funny guy, and he was really had an attitude towards him for a few.
Yeah, and he wanted Jerry. It was just one episode where he wanted Jerry to stand at his post and make sure everything was fine. Someone stole a couch whenever Jerry left out of the lobby. And then Jerry replaces the couch with the couch that Poppy peed on in a previous episode.
Okay, right. Poppy. Oh, Poppy. Poppy didn't wash his hands and then made that pizza dough.
I could reference everything to Seinfeld.
You really, yeah, you do. I thought that I was a fan, but no, you are like a super fan. Oh, here's Max, who plays the instrument like crazy. Soda is by far the hardest thing to kick on my diet. I had a cheat day today, and I went so far overboard that everything tastes of diabetes. Uh-oh. Here's what you need. A little bit of cranberry juice and soda, and you're all set.
I used to really like mixing cranberry juice and Sprite in college with the soda machines.
Oh, did you have one of those soda machines that had all the buttons like the movie theaters?
Well, it's just like a regular soda fountain with different options, like the different spouts.
Okay.
And I would put like 3/4 cranberry juice and then like 1/4 Sprite. It tasted really good.
Mr. Awesome has his name, Larry Miller. Very good. Thank you. And then he went to see his girlfriend's family, and it looked like he was in blackface. What? Wait, what was that one from? Was that from the same episode?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember that one.
How do we feel about pumpkin-flavored coffee pastries for autumn?
I don't like coffee, and I don't really like pumpkin stuff, so that's my answer.
I love coffee, and for the first time they were introduced, I liked pumpkin spice lattes. Then I got really tired of them fast, and now I can't stand the taste of them. I did love them at first, though. And I think I'd rather just have plain pastries. This risk management stuff is gold, Jerry.
Gold, Jerry. Gold.
Red Flash and Dr. Pepper mix is... What's Red Flash? Is that an energy drink?
I don't know. I don't do energy drinks, so I'm not really sure.
Here's an apology, which is about time. No. Ben Uncle says, Jess, sorry for missing your stream last week with Omnicat. I was busy hanging out with my new buddy, Philip Kennedy Johnson. He said, "Oh yeah." He said we were friends during your interview, so I'm rolling with it now. Are you talking with him on Instagram and Twitter, Ben? Because he definitely singled you out. You were definitely a popular chatter for him. Wait, no, Philip Kennedy John. Oh, it was Philip Kennedy Johnson or Jeff Parker?
He was there for both.
Okay, because I felt like Jeff Parker also singled you out, Ben. You are like the star of our live interviews because I feel like Jeff singled you out too.
Yeah, everybody, if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch our Jeff Parker and Philip Kennedy Johnson interviews. We had a lot of fun, and they're both really great guests with a lot of great stuff to say.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was after the suntan where he got overcooked. Okay, we got an awful lot of Red Flash is like Big Red.
Ew, I don't want it.
Is that an energy drink, Big Red?
I think Big Red might be a Mountain Dew, like not knockoff. You know, Mountain Dew has different types.
Yeah,
like the Big Red, and there's I don't know. I don't drink Mountain Dew, so I don't know all their names. You have to ask Tyler. I don't think Tyler likes Mountain Dew actually either.
I don't think he does. Yeah, Max, I've got those on my Instagram, and I'm gonna watch them later tonight before I go to bed. What you showed me before is remarkable, so I'm really looking forward to catch up with them. And you should be doing reels on Instagram and showing people your talent. Thank you, Oxmeat Pete. I don't have Instagram, but I actually did meet your buddy Mark Wade when you were streaming with Omnicat. He was seriously the nicest guy. I've talked to him.
Were you at a con or something with him or something, Ben?
At least two. Well, I posed with the picture that was famous on the Omni group for a while where I had him giving me $1 for royalties for all the talk I did about Irredeemable.
Right. I met Ben because Ben said he met him.
Oh.
I didn't know what he meant by if he met him at a con or something.
Oh, yeah. Where did you meet him, Ben?
We have a good question while we look for whenever Ben answers that is Jake Rocco, what's our favorite Superman artist? I think I know what your answer is going to be.
You mean Kurt Swan?
Yeah. That's what I thought your answer would be.
With Murphy Anderson inking.
I think my personal favorite is Gary Frank. I love his Christopher Reeve. I think people are pretty mixed on Frank Quietly. I'm a huge fan. I love his Superman. I think that's the work of his career is All-Star Superman. But I still think my favorite Superman artist consistently is Gary Frank with all the work he's done with Jeff Johns.
Actually, I see Lloyd Wong here. And Lloyd, you're out of a job because you forgot to remind us about...
Oh, yeah. Our sponsor,
DyingBreedCollectors.com. And there is a code this week, not this week, but this month, that gets you free shipping on everything you order. Let's see. Did I do it right? Trick or treat. Put trick or treat as your code in your order at DyingBreedCollectors.com and you get free shipping. So let's make Dying Breed Collectors go out of business. Order so many Omnis, 10 Omnis, he has to pay like $45 or $50 in shipping. It's free shipping this month with, I guess you shouldn't want your sponsor to go out of business, but take advantage of this. Use the free shipping with the code Trick or Treat at DyingBreedCollectors.com. Free shipping for the month of October. Trick or treat. 3 Omnis or something, you're saving some real money with free shipping. I'm not kidding. Peace and love. But I mean, that's real money that you're saving. So DyingBreedCollectors.com, great packaging, great selection, discounted prices. And he is responsive to everything. Trick or treat's the code for free shipping.
That's for the whole month of October, right?
Right. And there's 31 days in this month. I know, I saw you and then I forgot. Gary Frank and Patrick Gleason are my favorite Superman artists. Also Dan Jurgens plus Jerry Ordway. Patrick Gleason, I know him for his covers.
He did. Tomasi and Gleason did Superman together.
Oh, that's right.
We read those whole 100 issues together, Jess.
That was Patrick Gleason, right? Oh, okay. Wait, I want to finish up with Ben and how great of a guy Mark Waid is. I don't have Instagram, but whoops, I already read that. Okay, blah blah blah. I tried to pay him for his autograph. He refused payment and said simply to speak well of him to others. Wow, what a great guy he is. I seriously love that guy. It was the 2017 Baltimore Con. Was it 2018? 2017. And I think it was John Wilson, who was visiting from Britain, took the picture of Mark Waid handing me $1 that I gave him for, to pretend that he was giving me royalties for all that how highly I always talked about Irredeemable. And he was such a good guy, such a good sport. And then in 2019, when I got pancreatitis, Ryan Sace and a bunch of guys, I think including you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of guys chipped in and bought me the original art for the last issue of Irredeemable. And then I got out of the hospital and went to Baltimore Con with Omar. This was 2019 when everything happened.
The infamous visit.
Yeah. And I said, if I send you the original, not the original, if I send you a copy of the comic, because I couldn't find it at Baltimore Con, if I send you a copy of the comic with a self-addressed stamped envelope, would you send it back? And he said, of course, no problem. I'm happy to help. Couldn't have been nicer about it. Just asked that I not share his address, which I did not do, and sent it back to me. That's pretty cool.
He gave you his address. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. And he trusted me.
Expect maybe a P.O. box, but an address is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he did trust me to send
we hadn't interviewed him yet, had we?
No, that's when I started trying to set up the interview with him.
So that's a pretty big deal. He gave you his address and didn't really know much about you except for meeting you that one time.
Well, that was the second time I'd met him, and he was not busy at the time, so I showed him the picture of him handing me the $1 bill, and he said, "Of course, I remember that." And so that was so he remembered that. And I got it framed. I have the signed comic book and then the original art that all my buddies chipped in on. And it's one of my prized possessions. So yeah, Mark Waid is an amazing guy. Yeah, he was at Hall of Fame CityCon in Canton, Ohio. He was one of the guests of honor along with James Patrick, whose recent book, The Kaiju Score, needs to be on an upcoming Crime Corner. Ben, do you live near Canton? Are you afraid to say
Psycho Cleveland's isn't here, so don't worry if you want to tell us. You don't want Psycho to know you're in the same state as him.
Well, Psycho lives in Cleveland.
Your walls. He'll Swiffer your walls for you.
Hey, we did that the other day. My wife did it. It actually worked.
I never heard of it until Psycho brought it up.
I know. And then when my wife said it, I said, there's somebody in the chat that did that too and said it worked well. He's nuts, but and then get Mark Waid back in here.
Yeah, someone else, Marcelo, was saying we should have Mark Waid back on the show. Mark Waid did say he'd be up to coming back at some point, so
I will say he was he's so busy being the editor for the U.S. Line of Humanoids comics. He said he'd give us 20 minutes, and I think we ended up going 45.
I think he said, 25 minutes, and then we got, I think you're right. We got like 20 extra minutes out of him.
But boy, he was hard to slot in. We both had to do it in the middle of the day at like 2 p.m. our time. He's out where I'm not going to tell you where he is, but it's different. No, I'm sorry. It's not free shipping worldwide. United States. That's a good point.
I think obviously creators will give you, well, not every creator does. Some creators will give you time limits for interviews, But I've also noticed that if they like you and they're having fun, they'll keep going and they'll give you some more time. So we've had that happen a couple times, which is pretty cool because that means they actually enjoy it, as opposed to I want to get out of here as fast as humanly possible, which I'm sure has happened to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
He was just starting, I think, though. It was very early on. So we want to interview him again because it's been probably a year and a half since then.
It wasn't I feel like it was during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was very early. It was like May or something of last year. Yeah, because I bought my car around that time, my new car. So that was like May of last year.
Did you get a Geo?
Did I get what?
A Geo. That's oh, sorry, you didn't watch The Simpsons.
Sorry.
Let's see what's going on in here. We are going to talk eventually about what idiot would put their own cash into getting you an original piece of art. You must have had some good blackmail material on them. I had absolutely nothing on them. At that point in time, I barely knew any of them. You were the one I knew the most. And I know nothing about you. I think you have a beard and that's it. And you play video games with Super Squad D and you guys get really crazy.
And you send us great audio clips. That's all we know.
Yeah. Sasmer thinks I have a trustworthy face. That's why Mark Waid gave me his address.
Lloyd Wong said I should read Midnight Nation. Aren't you a big fan of that?
I am a big fan of that. Where Lloyd Wong? Okay. Gary Frank and James Straczynski, Midnight Nation should be right up your alley by Image. I think the oversized one is still in print. The art's really great. I really like the story a lot. I always hesitate to recommend anything to you because you're the deep diver. But
you're the raft rider. I'm the deep diver.
Yeah,
that's a good name.
Raft rider.
The raft rider and the deep diver.
We should change our names. Yeah, I stay on top of the waves and let the waves just sort of move me where they will as I'm reading. Taylor wants to do the deep dive and get analytical about it, and he sees any plot holes, sees things that don't make sense, and I go, oh, I didn't notice that. But he notices everything. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend Midnight Nation to you. It's a Jessamendation, Jessamendation. Yeah, I think that's good.
And Elvis has a question for you at 8:38.
I have not. I have it, but I think that's the only one I haven't read. Elvis, have you read it? And did you dig it?
I don't have anything by Terry Moore. Never read anything by him though, but I've heard a lot of people love his stuff.
Yeah. To Taylor's point, I recently saw Mark Russell interviewed on another YouTube channel recently, and it had a very different feel than your interviews. Once the interview time slot was up, he left. Well, maybe we should get Mark Russell on and see if we can get him to stay for like 4 hours.
I need to read his Flintstones first whenever I get that deluxe. I think that's next year, right? I think the deluxe is next year.
So good.
Are you going to upgrade that?
I am, yeah.
I'm probably going to read it first on Hoopla just to make sure I like it, but I think you told me you're pretty sure I'm going to like it.
I guarantee you're going to like it. Don't bother reading it on Hoopla.
Because I'm very philosophical and like theological stuff too, which apparently is a big part of it.
It is a huge part of it. That's all of it. Yeah. I mean, it's very satirical and funny.
That's why I really liked not the funny part, the new Midnight Mass Mike Flanagan show on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Because it had very deep religious and theological questions, even though like he's someone who's an atheist. I think he was able to really bring up these questions about faith and not just run all over it and not just rag on people who have faith, and ask some really interesting questions. So I think horror can really be a great way to inspect theology and religion. I really enjoyed that aspect of that show. I
am looking forward to seeing it.
Definitely watch Hill House first, though. You have to watch that.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely will. Let's Super Squad D, I think, is trolling us. One of two. Just wanted to say how much fun Baturdays is. My question is for the two hosts. Can you make sure to talk about what underrated DC action figures you think there are out there? And bonus points if you have them. And two, can you share what your favorite DC figures are, whether or not they're underrated? Yes, Super Squad D, we can do that. I have tons of McFarlane ones, and then I have tons of ones before that.
I don't know which ones are underrated though. I feel like I have like a lot of the really good ones that people like.
I think he says, can you share what your favorite DC figures are, whether or not they are underrated?
Oh, my favorite. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just did a reel about this.
I think all my favorite action figures are actually Mezco.
Oh.
Mezco and Mafex.
This is definitely my top two.
Oh yeah, that's boss.
The new Red Hood that's coming out, it's not bad, but it's not nearly as good as this.
I agree.
I'm not getting it.
No, that
it
one
is cool that it comes with a crowbar, but I'm sure Tyler probably has a crowbar prop already that he can use.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if he didn't have one. What's my other favorite? Oh, the Hellbat is my other favorite.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's fantastic.
That's too hard for me to get and show.
I love the Damian Wayne as well. That's in my top three. I just love the sword, and I love his little what's it called? I can't think of what it's called.
Spiky
ninja star type thing.
Yeah.
I love his like little like frown on his face.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is a serious frown.
And so I have a Robin shelf now. I have Nightwing, Red Hood, and Damian.
Oh,
there's no Tim Drake yet, so I can't do that.
That's a good idea.
And then I pre-ordered the Batgirl by McFarlane that with the Three Jokers wave.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping and praying that there'll be a Batwoman, so I can have like a Batgirl Batwoman shelf.
I really want a Batwoman figure myself.
They have to at some point.
I have one from Mattel. It is so lame. I got it just because I needed Batwoman. It's almost hidden. I put it in the, you know where I'm talking about, the deep part of the BatCave.
Yeah.
It's
where you hide your graham crackers.
Yeah, and there's
She's asleep. She's asleep.
She's asleep. Batwoman's way back there in the shadows. I may just take her down. She's so lame. She's just, I mean, nobody, they, no.
Didn't she used to have a statue of her?
Of Batwoman?
That was Joachim who had one.
Yeah. He had one.
It looks really cool though. I think it's hard to get now. I think
it's hard to get, and I think it's pricey, but it looks really cool. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't get that when it came out. Were you collecting statues when it came out?
I might not have been.
Because that sounds like a piece you definitely would have gotten.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Because you have a Batgirl, don't you?
Yeah.
Because that would look great next to Batgirl.
I think it's a lot bigger than my Batgirl. My Batgirl is kind of a smaller tweeter head, but she's awesome.
Yeah, Marcelo, that's great that the Batwoman Omnibus is finally coming out after a year and a half of being delayed. I think that Marcelo and I may have taken bets about it last year. Because I think I said that it wasn't ever coming out. They delayed it at least 3 times, maybe 4 times. Sorry? They delayed it at least 3 or 4 times. I think it was canceled at one point. No, that was back when the pandemic started. I think they weren't really making a lot of, and they came out, they made that solicit like around when the pandemic started. I think they kind of made some nervous cancellations of like, let's not get the cart before the horse. Yeah. But I think also the cover is totally different than the solicited cover. I don't know if you saw that. It's totally different. I did. I just did an Essential Editions with Webhead today that's going up at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It is in the thumbnail. I don't do thumbnails as well as Taylor does. Taylor's an artist with his thumbnails. If you look at our videos, I let him do all of them because he's so much better than I am. But that Batwoman one, actually, I can show you it. Because this is the JPEG. I'm sorry. This is the. Okay, get out of there. I love the first two original solicited covers. There was two original solicited covers, and then this is the one that nobody even knew was coming. Once they got it, people realized it.
Yeah, let's see. Window. This is oh wait, I could show you the cover. Don't I have? Let me see here. Quotes, Spotify, iMovie, photos, horror books, StreamYard. Where the heck is Well, here's my thumbnail that has the as you can see on the left, there's the Batwoman Omnibus.
Of all the covers they could have picked, why did they pick that one?
That's a kind of odd one with her, her shoe just coming right at you.
Of all the J.H. Williams covers they could have picked, they picked that. I just don't get it. It's
an odd one.
It's just weird. I mean,
I don't know why Greg Rucka's third. It should be like Greg Rucka first, but it's okay.
Yeah, he's the one who pretty much helped come up with the character and create the character, but whatever.
Well,
he's one of the co-creators from 52, I think. And then he pretty much created her backstory in the original Batwoman Run Detective, so he should be number one, I think.
I don't disagree. Let's see.
But yeah, Jeff, that's a pretty good one.
Which one?
He said, I feel like Tarantino picked that cover because he's obsessed with feet in his movies.
Oh, because he's obsessed with feet. No, whoops,
that's a pretty good
one. What? Wait. Was there another Tarantino one? Or is that a...
No, it was that one.
Okay, good job, Banana Jester. Yeah, I worry about the Phantom Stranger Omni.
What, just picking a different cover?
No, that it may not come out. It's in limbo right now.
I really shouldn't be that. I mean, it's not that big of a deal with covers because most of the time our books are on our shelves. I care about the spines a lot because that's what I see the most. I obviously would like to have a cover that I really enjoy, but it's not a deal breaker for me. It's just slightly annoying. That was the cover they picked.
Wait, what? Batwing the Omni got canceled?
When that was a while ago. That happened a while ago.
That was a while ago?
I'm pretty sure it was a couple months ago.
Well, I'm sure
I think that got canceled because of DC's plans for Luke Fox changed. Like during the 5G era, I think he was supposed to be the next big thing. And then they did the Future State Batman, which he was a part of, but he definitely isn't a part of DC's plans as much going forward as he was originally supposed to be. So that might be the reason why.
Blue Sonic already received his copy. How'd you do that, buddy? The cover is based on the Zero issue.
Isn't that coming out like next week or something? Not even this week. That's coming out the 12th, I think.
Oh shoot! I had all the thumbnail. Where'd all the thumbnails go? I definitely did not get rid of them.
As much as I'm excited about that, the book I'm excited about the most is Destroy All Monsters, the third Reckless book.
Right.
Cannot wait for that.
Photos, horror books, StreamYard. It's weird because I had all the.
Gerard says that Batwing is a thick trade now, Jess. Sounds like a typical DC move.
Well, I have all the Batwings from New 52, so I'll just stick with those.
Is that even a run that people really enjoy? I never really heard people talk about it until that omnibus was solicited.
I don't think so.
That's why I was surprised. I mean, they've also made a lot of New 52 omnis that nobody really wants or that nobody asked for, like Deathstroke and Red Hood and the Outlaws. So they're pretty much making an omnibus of every New 52 run, basically.
It feels like that. My point was the Phantom Stranger getting pushed back is a good sign instead of getting the axe. Oh, well, good. I'm not a fan of that cover. The image they have on Amazon is pretty good. I think that is the one Jess has for his custom bind, probably. Will you be getting the Batwoman Omnibus, Jess? Yes, I will be, because I want it a little bit oversized from my custom without ads. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my custom Batwoman Omni. I spent real money on it.
Isn't your custom just the Greg Rucka stuff?
No, it's the J.H. Williams stuff too.
Okay.
It's all of it.
Keep it for sentimental value on your custom shelf.
I think I will. I pre-ordered here in the UK and it was sent out early. Oh, lucky you. Can you read it for us real quick and tell us how it is? Start now. Right. Totally agree, Kenny. Do you want to go with your first underrated DC book?
Yeah, sure. So my first choice is actually two books, but they're part of the same line, and it's really in touch with and in keeping with Spooktober, and that is Plunge and Basket Full of Heads by Joe Hill.
Great choice.
I love both of these books. I love Joe Hill. I love his novels. I love his comics. And so I bought these without even knowing much about them, besides that he wrote them. And they're both fantastic. I think that they're both very different. Basketful of Heads is very much more like a schlocky, like slasher movie with a bit of a ghost element to it, with a bit of supernatural element to it, I mean. And it's also pretty funny. I laughed out loud a couple times during this. Do you remember it being funny, Jess?
Very. As a matter of fact, I just read it a couple nights ago. I'm going to be doing those books for October, all of his Hill House books, and I just reread that. It's really great. I loved it.
I might reread this, actually.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
It's just as good the second time, if not better.
The thing that bumps me out is I don't think they're going to do any more Hill House comics, which is a shame because I only read these two. I didn't read the other stuff, but I would love to see him do more horror comics at DC. I really do need to check out the others. Of all the others, what are the others you think I would enjoy besides the ones I'm about to mention from Joe Hill from that line?
What was the other one? Plunge?
I think I liked Basketball of Heads a lot, but I think Plunge is my favorite of the two because Stuart Eminem's art is fantastic. He's never done a bad comic. I think he's one of my top 5 favorite comic book artists. I like to call him the chameleon of comics. He has such a different style for everything that he does. I mean, the Stuart Eminem in this is different than the Secret Identity Stuart Eminem. That's different than the Next Wave Stuart Eminem. That's different than the stuff he did with Spider-Man. I just think he is so good, and he can just change his style the drop of a hat, and it's just always fantastic. And this book isn't funny. This book is very disturbing, very creepy, and I really, really enjoyed both of them. I give both these a wholehearted recommendation for Spooktober.
I think you'd enjoy the Dollhouse Family. I just got done reading it.
Is the art good?
Sorry?
Is the art good?
Yeah. I'm not going to show it now because I'm saving it for my video. I can't, I don't have that many ideas, so I can't pull content from the one idea I have. The art's good. The story's disturbing, but interesting and cool. And you know, the thing that I liked about Basketful of Heads was that it was a murder mystery too. It was a thriller. It was a puzzle. It was a mystery that needed to be solved. And I like how it got figured out. And in the Dollhouse Family, the young woman, she grows up from a disturbed family. And there's a mysterious dollhouse. Spooky things go on. And her strength, she finds her strength and is able to pull through. So because she has a lot of things going against her in this, there's a lot of psychological trauma that was done to her as a young girl. So,
and you read the Lolo Woods.
I thought that was, it's hard for me to say I loved it because it's so disturbing, but I definitely recommend it. That's a book that I'm going to highlight. It's disturbing, but these books, I mean, that's what Joe Hill, does is he wrote Lolo Woods, and it's a bit of a mystery too, with a lot of different elements in it. And then when you find out what actually happens, it's horrifying. But I recommend it for a horrifying read. We like to read things just like we like to watch scary movies. We like to be terrified and scared, get our emotions up, identify with the character, and get emotionally attached to the character, and follow their path through either the comic book or the movie or the TV show. So yeah, I definitely recommend Lolo Woods too.
I think Joe Hill didn't write that one. That was somebody else who wrote that.
I think you're right. I'm thinking of Basket Full of Heads.
He wrote Plunge and Basket Full of Heads, and I think the only one I'm not interested in at all, because I'm not a big fan of the artist, is Daphne Byrne. I just don't like Kelly Jones as an artist. He's not to my taste.
What book is that?
It's called Daphne Byrne.
Oh, that's the name of it. I don't have that one.
It's by Laura Marks and Kelly Jones.
Maybe I didn't get it because I don't like Kelly Jones either.
I'm sure it's on Hoopla. You can probably read it there.
Okay.
That's the only one I'm not interested in at all, because peace and love to Kelly Jones. I know people really dig him. He's just not for me. His Batman can never walk into a door with those size ears. Wouldn't be possible.
I'm not a fan of what he did to Deadman either.
I don't know what. I just don't like it. I know some people really dig it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace and love to Kelly Jones. It's just not our taste.
And yeah, someone's asking if these are standard size hardcovers, by the way. So Plunge and Basketful of Heads. This one is Basketful of Heads is just a really fun, good time, good murder mystery, a lot of fun elements, a lot of gross out moments, while Plunge is just truly terrifying. And I think the best movie I could compare it to is like The Thing, I would think. Because it's set in the Arctic Circle, where this ship goes missing for a while, and they get this broadcast, and they go investigating, which we know isn't going to go well. And chaos ensues. Has that ever gone well for anybody? I don't think so.
No. Oh yeah, I have to figure out if I can't remember if I ordered the JL Dark Omni. I definitely want
right?
that. Sorry?
That got pushed back, right? What, to like November?
I think it did. So I have to see if I ordered it. I'm excited to read it though, along with Comics Coda.
Everybody go to comicreleases.com, because there's a lot of books that were pushed back that Jess warned me about on Chris's website. His website's fantastic, by the way. Definitely invaluable for comic fans who want to plan out their budgeting for the year. So go to Comic Releases, because a lot of stuff got pushed back a couple months.
A ton of stuff did, yeah.
It was like at least 25 books, right? Like big omnis too.
He said he was super busy yesterday, frantically updating the site.
What do you think the rationale behind that is? Like, what do you think the reason behind all these books being pushed is?
Shipping delays. If they're printed in China or even in Canada, Canada's got border problems getting stuff across, and then China just has 85 ships lined up at LA waiting to get unloaded. So I think all of it is shipping delays. I don't think it's anything other than that.
Okay.
That's just my personal opinion. Shipping delays is affecting the country in everything. Things are backed up because of COVID. COVID's affecting everything still. I mean, you can ignore it and say it's not affecting you as a person, but almost everything you consume, touch, read, watch, everything's getting affected by it. So I think that's what those pushbacks are.
What is your...
sorry. Oh, what? Go ahead.
I was just asking what your choice was, your first choice, but we can talk about.
Well, let's say hi to Psycho Seb. He thinks the 90s Lobo comics were very underrated.
There's I started showing Sam, my son, a Justice League Action, which is a more kid-friendly superhero cartoon, and his favorite one is, it's like a funny riff off of the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote with Lobo and the Flash. And he laughs, and he thinks it's so funny. He loves it.
Oh, what one is this?
It's a Justice League Action. It's more geared towards younger kids. And there's an episode where Lobo's trying to take out the Flash in the desert. It's like exactly like the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. It's hilarious.
Mark Spector said, I've heard somewhere there's also a paper shortage, but can't verify if that's just a rumor. That definitely could be possible. And Banana Jester says, Port of Long Beach looks crazy. LA traffic has spilled into the ocean. Yeah, so I'm not making that up. No, Chase Chu, it's coming out either this week or next week. I just did the damn episode, and I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's October 12th.
I think it's next week. I think the only thing coming out this week is James Bond and like a couple of Marvel epics.
We have to get that, though, Jess.
Yes, definitely.
I think I only have two more that I have to get. It's this one and the Case Files, and then No Time to Die comes out next week, so I'm excited about that.
Right. As a matter of fact, this month is weird because next week there are 2 DC Omnis. The whole month, there are no Marvel Omnis. None.
November.
No
There's
Marvel
none.
Omnis at all.
Oh, in October, because a lot of them got pushed to November. Right.
Right.
That's pretty crazy because Marvel's the one that has the most Omnis usually.
For DC to have 2 Omnis and Marvel have none, can't remember ever hearing that ever. Let's see. Well, Marcelo says Kelly Jones is okay when the story is not about superheroes. I liked his work in Sandman. You know what? I liked his work in Sandman too. But yeah, superheroes, I have trouble with it.
Well, you'll definitely have to read his Hill House book on Hoopla at least for your Hill House video.
Yeah, it's called Daphne Byrne.
Yeah, and then you can decide if you want to buy it or not. Let me check to see if it's on Hoopla while you answer questions.
I was actually going to talk about underrated Batgirl and Robin Year One. Together, you can get these separately. Batgirl Year One is hard to find. Robin Year One could be hard to find. It is on Hoopla? Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, I'll read it then. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that these are both together. I had them separately, but they flow so well together. This is what it says, Batgirl and Robin Year One. And it's written by Scott Beatty and Chuck Dixon. The art is a kind of got a Darwin Cookish vibe to it. It's by Marcos Martin or Marcos Martin. Although I
love his art. He's fantastic.
I need to pull back a little.
Watch out for that mic.
Yeah, I'm going to pull back and move the computer from the mic. So I mean, you've got mostly Mr. Freeze and Two-Face dealing with Robin. Robin's a little bit headstrong, of course. Batman is portrayed as an unfeeling jerk, of course. But the story, while it does have its tense moments and is a well written, criminal thriller, it's also got real emotion to it, real emotional impact, and it's got a lot of funny moments in it too. There's a sense of humor throughout both comics, including Batgirl. The art in Batgirl is still just as great as the art in Robin. I find Batgirl seemed to be a little more lighthearted. Robin figures out that it's Barbara Gordon by the freckles on her nose and her red hair. So I think it's got a different kind of emotion to it, but it's still compelling. I think that both writers, I guess they come. Let me think here. Scott Beatty and Chuck Dixon, and Javier Pulido. I think they did a really good job of humanizing both Robin and Batgirl and making it seem like they were really youngsters taking on this role. And I feel like maybe it doesn't get enough. My feeling is I don't hear it talked about very much. Now, of course, I'm not on social media very often, except just to do my own videos and to post on Instagram. So maybe there's a whole Twitter page dedicated to these books. I don't know. But I feel like I don't hear people talk about this book a lot. If they do, I hope it's in positive terms, because this is one of my favorite books that I've got. It's just, it's dynamic. It's compelling. It makes both of them very interesting and deals with it's. It reminds me of that first episode when Batgirl goes out in Batman the Animated Series, where she's just falling all over the place and getting twisted up in her cape, and Batman says, what the heck is it you're doing out here anyway? And forget it. And in this, he says, forget it. You're not ready. And what are your reasons for wanting to do it? And she has to, pass his test of why she wants to be in the Bat family. So I don't know. I don't feel like people talk about this book, and I definitely think people need to buy it. I think it's great that it's all in one, because both stories organically go with each other, and it's really a fun read. And I'm all about the fun read, right?
You're the raft rider of comics.
And when I highlight you, I have to go put my milk back in the fridge so it doesn't spoil.
I'll highlight another female-centric hero, and that is Supergirl being super.
Oh, are you sure that's underrated?
I think it's underrated. I don't think like a lot of people have read it. I don't think a ton of people.
Oh my gosh, everybody needs to read it.
If you think Batgirl and Robin Year One are underrated, then I think this is pretty much the same status.
Okay.
Son.
Well, you and I both love this.
This is fantastic. This is my first official Supergirl-centric book I've ever read. It's a great place to start. It's pretty much her origin story. So I would recommend starting here. I don't know if Jess is still here or not.
I agree.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were
now I'm leaving, but I agree.
I was testing to see if I could say anything about you. But
you can
okay.
now.
No, I can hear you leaving. So no, but this is a fantastic series. This is the only thing by Mariko Tamaki I've ever read. I'm really excited to read her detective run with Dan Mora. I've heard some good things about it, and the art looks really good, so I'm excited about that. Joelle Jones, her art is always tip-top. It's always A+ material. I love her stuff with Batman, with Tom King. Lady Killer is my favorite book by her. She's just always fantastic. Even though I didn't really like her Catwoman comic run, I thought the art was still good, even though the story was pretty lame in my estimation. At least on art, she's always really good. I think on Lady Killer, she did some of the scripting, and she was good on that. Catwoman just wasn't for me. But this is a really fun, wholesome story focusing on Supergirl, and I think everyone should check this out. And I wish they would do more of this, because I feel like they kind of set it up in a way they were going to do more, and they've never returned to it. I know Mariko Tamaki and Joelle Jones are both busy, so who knows if they'll ever get back to it. But it doesn't end on a cliffhanger that I remember. Someone in the chat can correct me. But this is definitely a series that everybody should check out. It's a cheap trade. Only $17. Probably get it really cheap on IST, Amazon, a bunch of other places. Definitely check this out if you're into Kara, and if you're into Supergirl. I think you'll really, really enjoy this. And let's see if Jess is even back. I don't think he is. And I really do think they should have deluxe editions. A deluxe edition of this book, but I don't think it's ever going to happen, so I'll be happy just with the trade paperback. And also, if you like Supergirl being super, which is very... I think is it Smallville? I can't remember if she's in Smallville or not. Someone can correct me. But a TV series that's very in keeping with the tone of this is Superman and Lois, which is a CW show that I absolutely love. And I'm someone who's abandoned all the CW shows like The Flash. I never finished Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, but I think Superman and Lois is definitely the best CW show they've had in a while in that universe. Jess, do you remember, is this set in Smallville or not? I can't remember.
Smallville?
No, yeah.
I don't think
I can't remember.
Smallville.
I couldn't remember in this. It's a different story than the regular Supergirl story, where she kind of crash lands and she's here. She was set to take care of Clark, and Clark is kind of like her mentor and stuff. That's not how it goes in this. It's kind of like an alternate origin story.
Right. I think it's like Middale or Mid.
Yeah, Kenny Crayley says Midville, so he is agreeing with you.
Oh, okay,
but I was saying anyway, even though it's not set in Smallville, I think the Superman and Lois show is very similar in tone to this. There's a lot of serious moments, a lot of lighthearted moments, but it's all about aspirational characters who want you to become better people. And I think they both really fit well together. I never really watched the Supergirl TV show. Did you ever watch it, Jess?
I watched the first few episodes and liked it, but then something else got my attention.
Squid Game.
I started Supergirl like 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, Brian loves the intro. Thank you, Brian. Current Supergirl comic from Tom King and Bilquis Evely is one of my absolute favorite books on stands right now. Oh, next to Imagine it says I'm entirely correct. I think he's talking about Batgirl and Rob. Yeah, they're both under-discussed and underappreciated, just like Martin and Pulido, whom I think are two of the best comic artists of the last decade. Nice.
Yeah, Marcos Martin's work on The Private Eye was crazy good. We both really enjoyed that. And I think Tom King does best when he's just doing a 12-issue miniseries. That's just what he's the best at.
Yeah,
I think he lost steam at some points with the 85-issue Batman run. I think that's just not in his wheelhouse as much, even though I love so much of it.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's his main. I think he would admit that too. That's not his main skill set. Is creating these huge, epic, long runs. I'm really excited for Rorschach and for Strange Adventures. Mm-hmm. But here's my dilemma, though. We're getting those hardcovers coming out soon, but there's probably gonna be deluxes though down the line.
Exactly.
But what if they don't? What if DC screws us over and I'm stuck with none of it?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? I mean that's the thing. I might be risking it.
Yeah,
so what if I'm stuck with it? What if I'm like, okay, there's one of two things that can happen. I could buy the deluxe, I could buy the standard, and then be pissed off later whenever a deluxe is solicited. Yep. Or I could not buy the standard. It goes out of print, and then I'm stuck with nothing.
Exactly.
So what do you think you're gonna do?
Buy the standards.
Okay.
And just be happy with what I have.
No, but I have to put it next to my Mr. Miracle book. I hate being a collector, dude. It's so annoying. What's wrong with us when we do this to ourselves? We're such idiots.
I know. You know what? I'm looking over at my Spider-Woman Marvel Masterworks, volumes 1 and 2. I flaked and got them completely different spines. And they are so mismatched, they might as well be different books. And all I had to do was just pay more attention when I ordered. And I don't even want to display them because the spines are so different. And I'm like, I bet my wife would just look at the books and go, oh, Spider-Woman, is that interesting and fun? And I go, look at the spines. They don't match.
Even Kate notices the black Tom King hardcovers from Batman. Even she's always like, that looks terrible. I'm like, yeah, you think? Like,
I'm like, all the white ones ahead of it?
Yes. Yeah. She's like, why is that black? I'm like, nobody knows. Only DC knows. Nobody understands.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think I'm gonna buy those standards just because who knows? I just never know what DC's gonna do. I just don't know.
No, you can't count on a deluxe. Just because deluxes have come out before. I mean,
but Omega Men got one. Omega Men got one, and Mr. Miracle though.
But some Black Label books are supposed to be. Aren't they supposed to be oversized? And a bunch of them have come standard.
I don't know, but I liked Omega Men. I didn't like it enough to upgrade. So it's not like I have every Tom King in deluxe.
Right.
So I don't know, guys in the chat. Can you tell me what to do? Because I'm really annoyed right now.
I have Night Year 1 and I haven't read it yet. It has some emotional moments in the complicated relationship between Dick and Bruce. That's a book I need to read very soon. But it's going to have to be next year because I have way too many other things that I've already promised to the universe that I'm going to read first.
Comic Bound, you just touched upon one of my deep nerves with comics in the past couple of years, the collected editions, the unwritten hardcover. We all got screwed over on that one. Who bought it?
Mm-hmm.
I sold it to half price books for like $2 because nobody wants it. That made me so. I was so excited to read that too. I was like, "Oh, this looks really cool. It sounds awesome." I usually like Vertigo stuff. Nothing. So annoying.
That I totally agree with you. Where's my phone? I need to write that down for a second.
I mean, I know they have to make money on these things. They don't want to have like a loss, but there is kind of like a somewhat unwritten contract between seller and customer that if we're going to start this line, we're going to finish it.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not like there'd be like a 20 hardcover like series like Constantine, all those trades. I think it would have been maybe like 3 or 4 at the most.
Yeah, there's 11 thin trade paperbacks.
So that's probably maybe 5. So 5 of them. So I was so frustrated about that. I think everybody's kind of
absolutely
that stung everybody who bought it.
Yeah. Everybody's frustrated by that. I am so in tune with that. And, you know, when you say that spines matter, at first I was like, do they matter? Is it that big of a deal? And then I got Amazing Spider-Man 5. I've got Wait, yeah, it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Even the Dave Michelini, Todd McFarlane is in the same logo that I have up there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. And then I put this other one in there, and it's tiny writing. It doesn't match. And I sort of get why people are upset about that tiny writing. I had it on my single volume of the Defenders because I remember reading that as a teenager, and I'm like, that's no big deal. But when you put it up next to, and it's the same with Fantastic Four #4, when you put it up against stuff that has matching spines and it doesn't match, it does kind of really, bug me. Dr. Aphra, Spider Gwen. I'm
leaving. I can't even deal with this anymore.
I've got 3 hardcovers of Spider Gwen, followed up with 1, 2, 3, 4 Spider Gwens, and then 2 Ghost Spiders.
Jess, Prisco 10 is the comment of the night at 9:17.
Year of the Villain is their collection department. They're the main villain. Prisco, nice. Yeah, this is 100% right. We are collectors. We're their audience. We're the ones paying the money. You're selling it to us. We're a niche of a niche, but there's still 5,000 copies, 4,000 copies of these things being made at $50 to $75 a pop for us at a discount. So it's real money when you put out enough Omnis. So you would think that, I mean, Marvel has a direct line to a guy that's in the community and should advise them on everything. And they come out with those tiny spines.
I haven't seen that much animus, like I said, that much anger just about spines in a long time.
From me?
No, just about the community. I haven't seen that much anger.
Yeah,
just aggression. I mean, from the comic community.
Yeah.
And we're giving people stress in the comments.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Big Elmer crud. Okay. Yep, Raphael digs it though. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're right. We are this airing of grievances. What is this? Festivus? It's literally the middle of the night here in Norway. Got woken up by the fire alarm. Oh, no fire though. So I thought I'd say hi. Well, hi, KVK Comics. Nice to see you. Darumo says we've got spine wine. People are still going to buy them, so they don't care. Unless nobody buys them, they're not going to bat an eye. If we don't buy them, then they're going to stop making them.
I just think spines matter the most out of the whole aesthetic look because it's what you see the most on the shelf.
Yeah.
I only see the cover whenever I pull it out. But I see it all the time on my shelf whenever I'm walking past it or sitting here.
Here's something that you have that I think would bother me. I have the hardcovers, but why do 3 books and cancel the line? Same with Sleeper Year 2. You have 2 copies of Sleeper with the same cover.
Yes, because I have the Wildstorm Classics that they did. They did like a Midnighter volume as well, which you have.
Yeah.
And I have the Planetary in that format as well. And they canceled, or they never even solicited a volume 2, I don't think, of Sleeper. And so I had to go to like an LCS and get like the old season 2 trade. It has the same exact cover on both of them. Come on, you idiots.
And he's a minister, okay? So you know.
I'm still allowed to get frustrated.
Yeah, I know.
I have emotions too.
I'm sorry?
I have righteous indignation.
The worst unforgivable spine crime I've seen is the Legion of Superheroes Archives line. That's the one Archives line I did not collect. And I got Omnis out of it, so I'm okay with it. I am not familiar with that Archives line, so I don't know about it.
I know we're giving some people stress, but our viewership jumped up like 15 people as we started whining and being negative. People love negativity.
I hate DC and Marvel.
We're gonna make every single video negative from now on to get the viewers. Now, I don't think Jess and I are capable of that for too long.
No.
We have short bursts of negativity.
Right.
Weren't you going off on Monday's show about something on Omni Bros?
I was on fire on Monday. Yeah, that's when I got mad at peanut allergies.
Oh, right.
I was just generally angry at everything. I don't know why. I mean, everything's fine. I have a fine life, but sometimes I just get angry at the hobby. I don't know about this, Raphael. Didn't Marvel offer a substitute dust jacket for an omnibus? I'm not familiar about it.
I never heard that, but I don't really want those omnis that's a problem for, so I don't really pay attention.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they've contacted people who bought it, or I don't know, who were frustrated.
Year of the Villain started the same month Batman Deluxe Volume 4 with the Black Spine released. Coincidence? I don't think so. Dark Horse gets it right with the spines on their BPRD Hellboy Universe hardcovers. They sure do. BPRD is pretty much all the same font.
It's right here.
Yep.
I just got this one in with my birthday haul. That with the Visitor.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's the Visitor, Rasputin, and Sledgehammer 44. Wasn't that like really hard to find for a long time?
It's impossible to find in trade paperback. That's why I kept it. I kept all those in trade, and now you have them all in hardcover.
I just read this and enjoyed it.
Here's my copy.
Jess always has these books right next to him. I'm just going to show off my haul at this point now. I got Captain America by Rick Remender, which Jess is very jealous of.
Oh, you jerk.
I finally upgraded with All-Star Superman.
Nice.
Which I'm really excited about. I'm rereading this sometime soon.
Over there. I can't pull it out. That's what she said. Yeah, okay.
And then the last thing I got, Conan by Kurt Busiek.
Yes, that's a good book. That's that's the only Conan book I kept.
I really enjoyed the Jason Aaron stuff. I think you have that too, don't you?
I do have that. I haven't read it yet, but you liked it a lot, huh?
I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to read more. I'm just not going to go back and read. There's like 20 omnis now at this point. I can't keep up with that. I'm sure some of them are out of print. And so the Kurt Busiek I've heard is a really great modern run that I would enjoy. I love Kurt Busiek. So I'm definitely going to read that by the end of the year.
Yeah. Let's see. I think you, you know what? No, I'm not going to turn this into, I was going to say what else bothers me. Crashline's wishing you a happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it was last Saturday.
Oh, yeah, they supposedly did it for ASM 300 cover of the Michelini McFarlane one. Oh, because people wanted that ASM 300 cover, which was so cool.
Well, Jess, I know you've been purging stuff lately, so let me interview you for a second. How has it been feeling to be getting less stuff in than you ever have in the past 5 or 6 years? Has it been feeling pretty good, feeling pretty liberating, or is it feeling lonely that the postman's not visiting you as much? Because you've been doing a good job of selling stuff and getting rid of stuff. I know you've been not buying as much. So do you feel like it's been pretty good so far?
You know what my haul is this week? Batman Cowardly Lot or something. That's all I got this week.
Wow.
One book.
The postman's probably like, I hope he's alive still. Or he's like, finally, my back's not going to die this week.
It's actually a young girl who I tipped about 5 months ago. I gave her a bunch of 20s because she had been humping these heavy boxes to my house, of course. The neighbors even mentioned to my wife one time that Jess sure does get a lot of boxes. And I was like, how do they know they're for me and not you?
That's weird though, because I've been to your house. You don't have any neighbors across the street.
No, they're all next.
Yeah, because we have the same setup at our house, where there's nothing across the street from us. So your neighbors must be peeping on you.
Well, I think that when they drive by, the mailman comes around 10, mail gal comes around 10 a.m. And if they drive by, you know, not this past month, but all the other months, you could see a stack of books regularly at 10 a.m. But this week, you know, I have so much stuff to read. I don't think I miss it. I really want to read everything. I think I'm happier. I feel like I'm happier not getting a ton of stuff in.
I was just curious. I was wondering if that made you feel a little bit better and not as stressed out, having a lot of stuff going out and not as much coming in.
Yeah, I sure have been making a lot of trips to the post office. But yeah, I think overall I feel, at first when you asked me that, I felt a little ambivalent about it because it's always fun to get stuff in the mail. Yeah, I do feel better just getting one book this week.
I remember whenever you did your first Omnibus episode and talked about your probation pie, and you were saying it's lonely with no mail coming in. I'm like, maybe Jess is lonely. I don't know. We have a super chat too.
I just saw that. Breakfast of Champions. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Taylor.
Thank you.
Do you two prefer one image wrapped around the cover or two individual images on either side? More covers need hidden maps like Last God.
This cover was so cool.
I agree.
It's crazy. Look at this. I think this is probably one of the reasons why it cost $50. Because
that's a good point.
It's not just the length of the book, which is really long for a standard size hardcover, and all the supplementary material at the end. I think it's probably expensive to make this cover.
Yeah,
I would think.
When we did the interview with him, I was just amazed that all those songs. Not only did he compose all those songs in the interstitial lore parts, but that he came up with ancient notes, the way he thought they would be reading music.
Right.
That is remarkable to me. That I just think Last God is a remarkable achievement. I don't know if he's just modest or doesn't realize how great a creation it was, because I just am blown away with his with Philip Kennedy Johnson's ability to create that ancient lore. And he said he only spent like a month doing it, but
it had to have been. I think that was his like hardcore, like the basic lore. I'm sure he spent more time beyond that. There's no way he just spent a month on that. I think that was the basic world building. But I'm sure he spent a lot of time after that, because there's no way that was all accomplished in just 1 month. Because if it was, he's very talented, even more than we thought he is.
He came up with the ancient language and the ancient words, and then the ancient civilizations and the world and stuff.
It did take a long time to read. It took me like 5 days to finish it.
Yeah,
which is that's how long it takes me to read a novel usually.
Right.
And so it took me a long time to. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's a very dense read, and it's definitely not something you put down and come back to and read stuff in between it. So if you're going to read Last God, I would definitely clear out your reading schedule for a week at least.
I agree.
And just focus on that.
And to answer your question, Breakfast of Champions, first of all, thank you very much for the super chat. I agree that more covers need hidden maps like Last God. I agree with you completely. I think the term is female man. I like it.
There's a great episode of Curb where Larry goes on a date with his female man.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and then it doesn't go well, and then she doesn't deliver his packages anymore.
What season's that?
I think that's season 9. I think.
Oh, okay. I'm still back when JB Smoove is living.
And like he's talking to her, he's like, "Can't we just hit the reset button and go back to the way it was before?" And she's like, "No."
This is a legit question. Do you have free shelf space now, or did the sales simply make a dent on the piles on the floor? I can show you that. Let's see.
Well, there's one shelf they're not going to be able to see, the one that's in the second story. where you sold your golden age stuff. That definitely created a lot of space on that shelf, right?
That completed created a complete shelf up there. I've got action figures. Let's see if you can see. Let me raise it. MODOK is there. Here we go. There's so much shelf space there. I've got MODOK and a couple Spider-Man figures just waiting to be filled.
And everyone knows that Jess stacks too deep on that. So that's why.
That's a Kalax. N-Man 40 was the one who suggested that. So, and then there's over there, I don't know if I'm aiming it right. There's Moon Knight standing in a big space. And upstairs, I have a huge space where all those Golden Age Omnis were. I do still have some floor books. I'm not going to lie. Because you guys will figure it out. I do still, but I feel like they're waiting to be shelved. There is shelf room for them. I do have a big stack outside the door here, which I kind of like. I like having a stack of Omnis out there for some reason. I do have enough room to shelve them upstairs in the library with the sweater closet.
That was the best part of my trip.
Not getting the Infinity Gauntlet?
I'm just joking. It wasn't the best part. The best part is obviously the best part is our po' boy sandwich.
Followed
up by a close second of hanging out with you and Patty.
And what about the cookies?
Oh, that was really. Oh, the whole thing was great. It's hard to separate it into separate moments.
I like that. Thank you.
And hopefully we'll have as many good moments in November when you come up.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we will.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be rolling Jess back to Alexandria with all the food that we've planned a lot of eating, haven't we, Jess?
Yes, we have. And I just heard about a hamburger chain that was famous in Pittsburgh that had little. It was like Little Tavern here, and what's the place that has sliders in Ohio? White Castle. Do you have a White Castle?
I know of. We don't have any White Castles around here.
Well, no. Do you have a White Castle type of place up there? That's a chain of like little burgers.
Not that I can think of.
Oh, it must be out of business. Okay.
Not that I can think of. I mean, I think I would know that one though, because I'm really into burgers.
Yeah, I think you would.
And Crashline, now's a good time to talk about our sponsor, since you mentioned them.
Thank you, Crashline. Whoops, I need to hit banners. That would be dyingbreedcollectors.com for the entire month. If you use the code TRICK or TREAT, you get free shipping on everything. Order 5 Omnis. I'm not suggesting it. I'm telling you. Order 5 Omnis and get free shipping. Make him pay. Make John pay. Make him sorry he ever sponsored this show. Order so much that he has to give you free shipping.
Hopefully we have a sponsor next time. Because you just said make him pay.
Yeah, sometimes I don't think about what I'm saying.
Give him so much business.
Give him so much business that he's amazed that he's getting this code. Trick or treat, free shipping all month of October at dyingbreedcollectors.com.
And yeah, Crashline, everyone needs to smash that like button.
Whoop. There we go. Smash the like button, please. 62 watching and only 27 likes. Is everyone busy shopping at Dying Breed Collectors? If they are, that's kind of a win-win. I'm happy with that. I found The Last God lore is very reminiscent of Tolkien in terms of world building.
Well, Philip Kennedy Johnson did say his favorite Tolkien book is The Silmarillion, which is pretty much the world building of Middle Earth. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a light and breezy read. I'll put it that way.
Brian Brewster, I just started my Omni collection in room. It is at a premium now. Yeah. What size shelves do you guys get and where do you get them? I am a big fan of the Kalax.
That's what I have.
Billy's from IKEA. Billies are what you see behind me. Ah! Who fell over? Oh, it was Silk. Okay, just a sec.
All of my shelves are Kalax.
These are Billies behind me. And then I have Tall, and Taylor's showing you his Kalax, which I also have. And then right there, those are Billies that you can adjust the, all the Billies actually, you can adjust them to hold different size books. As you can see right there, there's my big books right there. My big, tall, computer ruining books, effing Nemo and stuff. So I would recommend going to IKEA, or if you don't have an IKEA, you can order them to be shipped and shipped to your house.
Yeah, I love Kalax. The only problem, like you said, I can't fit. The only book I can't fit is Parker Martini Edition. Speaking of a book that's been pushed a lot.
Boy, when's that coming out?
I think next year. It was supposed to be early this year, and it got pushed like a million times.
Ay, caramba.
I need that book so bad in my collection. I can't wait to finish that out. That's such a great series.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Ooh, Oxmeat Pete. Terrible news from Oxmeat Pete for those of you who want
Kalax. I bet this is the shipping thing.
I'm so glad I got that Kalax when I did, Jess.
Oh, you're right, because that is a prime example of the shipping problem. You got to be kidding me, May?
I can't wait that long. I'll probably read the rest of the books on Hoopla and then still buy it, obviously. But I didn't want to finish that. And there's going to be an Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips story in there.
Oofa. I just ran across this book today, Spoonful. 99 cents. Nice. I
the shipping's probably $10.
What's that?
That's always funny when it's like 99 cents, but the shipping's $15.
Oh, I know. I hate
it's
that.
It's like spending $16 on it anyway.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think they made a TV show out of it, but I don't know how well it did. But I enjoyed it. For 99 cents, I mean, come on. You'll dig it.
I'm really looking forward to Tom King's Human Target because Greg Smallwood, who is fantastic and really does interiors, will be doing that. He did the Moon Knight run with Jeff Lemire, and that's a beautiful book.
Oh, yeah.
And Doc Collector, that's a good point. He says he got the Threshold shelves from Target. I'm pretty sure that's what Tyler has. And they look exactly like IKEA shelves. So that might be a good alternative for those of you who can't get the IKEA shelves.
And from Walmart, I believe it's the Home and Garden shelves.
No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That's what Tyler has. He has the Walmart shelves. I'm sorry. I thought it was Target, but I'm sure Target has good stuff too.
Yeah. Okay. So he gets the Thresholds from Target, and then I know the Walmart has those Home and Garden shelves that are supposed to be really good, and I know they're not expensive because it's freaking Walmart. And I say that because I hate going there. There's never any toys. There's never anything that I want there. And everybody's telling me they're getting rare comics in these comic packs and finding toys there. And mine is my nemesis. My nemesis. My next book.
We're doing a topic. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a topic. Planet of the Apes, Green Lantern. Green Lantern presents Planet of the Apes featuring Menace of the Runaway Man. Now, this cover is the special hardcover one. You can get it in trade paperback. This is the CBLDF special one. In this book, there is, let me highlight myself so I can show the art. The Owens, the Guardians of the Owen Guardians, have a ring that is so powerful that they dispel it into space, into a different dimension, because it's so awful and so terrible. Here's some of the art. So the Owens send it into a different dimension. It lands on Planet of the Apes because it's a different dimension. And wait, let me think of course, Sinistro's
how recent
in it.
is this?
Sorry?
How recent is this?
Let me check. It's
the past 5 years?
Yeah, it's by Robbie Thompson, and the writer is Justin Jordan. Robbie Thompson did the story. Justin Jordan is the writer. This is 2017. Collaboration of Boom and DC. I want to make sure I get the name right here. Okay, so it pulls on the first two original. Actually, it pulls on the original Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes. So it helps a lot if you read that. I'm sorry, it helps a lot if you've seen that, because it definitely pulls on that. And it's Cornelius that ends up with the ring, and he gets a uniform and everything as soon as he puts the ring on. And Hal Jordan and Sinestro are after it to get it back. Sinestro wants it for evil. Hal wants to put it back into a dimension where nobody can find it because it's so powerful that it's extremely dangerous. So the Green Lanterns travel to the Planet of the Apes to get this ring back. And the dynamic that happens on the Planet of the Apes when Cornelius gets the ring is amazing. And then the stuff that Hal has to go through when he, lands on the Planet of the Apes and assumes the Charlton Heston role of he's a human that can't be trusted, and they're shocked that he can speak. And, here he is tied up by the apes. Meanwhile, Cornelius has a ring that can change everything. And all these different lanterns are after it. And it is a whale of a good time. Here's Cornelius in his lantern outfit with his amazingly powerful ring.
What kind of lantern is it? Did he ever call him a civic lantern?
He's kind of an orangish lantern, but he's not.
He's not like Larfleeze.
No, he's not like Larfleeze at all.
That's like Larfleeze is the only orange lantern.
Correct. I would say it's a shade yellower than a Larfleeze's orange.
It's not orange. It's less orange.
Yeah.
Was that like a Spinal Tap? It's not black. It's what do they call it? What do they call it? Is it less black, or what do they call it?
So see here, all the lanterns are interested, and awesome. The ring creates more rings, and it is just such a great, fun story. At first I've always kind of stayed away from these crossovers. And I think people do because I've been reading some Star Trek crossovers that are actually a lot of fun. And they actually, in the made up world of comics, make sense. And I didn't think this Planet of the Apes one would work at all, but it works beautifully. This edition, I will put in the description. You can still order it. But also the paperback is available. So I highly recommend this book, and I don't know that anybody talks about Green Lantern and Planet of the Apes. I think the paperback has a different cover than this, but I think you'd enjoy this.
It looks cool. I like Green Lantern stuff a lot, and I'm not the biggest. I don't really like monkeys and apes and things like that. I like the original Planet of the Apes. The Mark Wahlberg version doesn't exist.
Shut your whore mouth, as Lou would say.
I actually really like the new trilogy by Matt Reeves. And
that's supposed to be really good.
Whoever the first director was, I don't remember his name. But it's a lot for me to like a monkey-centric thing or an ape-centric thing. So monkeys and apes creep me out. Oh. But I really like the original with Charlton Heston and the newer ones. The Mark Wahlberg one doesn't exist. Let's not talk about it.
That's so funny. You got me really good there. All you have to know is the Charlton Heston movie, or just Wikipedia it. Well, no, you should see it because it's still. I saw it and it had such a great ending. I was just shocked as a.
Can you give us your best Charlton Heston impression at the ending? His last line.
Oh, what does he
You
say?
maniacs! You blew it up.
You damn maniac. He says, you goddamn maniacs, you blew it up. Sorry to say that, but I'm pretty sure he says that.
And then there's his most famous line from the movie is, "Get your hands off me.
Get your hands off me, you dirty ape."
Yeah.
Is that right?
There's a swear word in there, which I'm not going to say, but he does say
Okay,
it.
right. Okay, I apologize that I said it, but I'm pretty sure he says that. So
Is Planet of the Apes your favorite Charlton Heston movie?
I thought I enjoyed Omega. I think what was that? He did a version of
I Am Legend.
Yeah. He did a
I think
version
it's the
of
Omega.
that.
Isn't it the Omega Man?
Mega Man. Okay. Yeah, I remember liking that. No, I think Planet of the Apes is my favorite Charlton Heston movie. So anyway, underrated, underread, needs to be read. If you don't want this hardcover, then order the trade paperback, whatever. Read it however you can. But this book needs to be read. It's super fun.
I'm going to continue with the Lantern theme. This is a book I got at my Treasure Trove LCS that Jess really loves, and that's The Black Ring. I love this
Such
series.
a good series.
This is really hard to get now, isn't it, Jess? Isn't this pretty out of print?
I think so, yeah.
And Jess will be visiting my Treasure Trove LCS, hopefully.
Hopefully,
But this is a lot of fun. You definitely have to read Blackest Night to enjoy this, because it's right after Blackest Night, where Luthor is an Orange Lantern for very briefly during Blackest Night, because obviously Larfleeze is the only Orange Lantern. His greed and avarice won't allow there to be another. But Lex is so impacted by this. He's so power hungry that he wants to find even a greater power than the Orange Lanterns. And this book is just so much fun. It's just a romp throughout the whole DC universe. There's so many cameos, so many interesting storylines. He goes to Gorilla City. He comes up against Gorilla Grodd. I think my favorite character is his robotic Lois Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Where at first you're like, why is Lois Lane hanging out with Lex Luthor? She hates him.
Yeah.
And then you realize that he actually has like an android of Lois to be his sidekick, because Lois keeps him in check and will say the things that nobody else will say to Lex because they're afraid of him. So she'll constantly put him into question and say, why are you doing this? It's a bad idea. He keeps his ego in check. And I just really dig this series. It was a ton of fun. Written by Paul Cornell. Pete Woods is a very underrated artist, and you don't really see people talk about him very much. But there's an awesome I want to find that moment in Gorilla City it involves a spoon. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Jess?
Yeah, I just read that.
Kneel before Grodd. You've walked into an ambush, and I have brought my biggest combat spoon to eat your tasty brains. That's probably my page of the year. Like, that was just, I laughed. I mean, didn't I text you that whenever I read it?
Yes.
This book is just so much fun. And it's not just fun. The ending is so tragic. And the final confrontation, I don't want to show anything, so I don't want to ruin it. The final confrontation between Luthor and Superman is definitely one of my top 3 Luthor and Superman moments. Maybe my favorite, actually. And it's just so tragic and sad to see what Lex does with this power that he so desperately wants, and how he doesn't understand why Superman has all this power and uses it for other people. Why doesn't he use it for himself? Why hasn't it corrupted you? And it's all because he grew up in Kansas with Mom and Pa Kent. That's the only reason why he is who he is.
Yep.
And Paul Cornell understands Superman, because that's what makes him who he is.
Yeah.
It's not that he came from Krypton. It's because he grew up in Kansas. That's what makes him who he is.
Right.
And all the best writers who write about Superman understand that.
I think Jeff Parker spoke at length about that. Or was it Philip Kennedy Johnson? About how maybe it was both of them.
Both of them actually talked about it, because
about Pa Kent.
Johnson is writing Superman right now, so he's definitely thinking about it. And Parker said he wants to write Superman because so many people don't do it right.
Right. That's right. Yeah, and they both keyed in on the goodness of Pa and Ma Kent, raising him, not letting him use his powers to give him an advantage, and that's the key to who he is. You're exactly right. And I will say that, was that Black Ring? Was that because I told you about it, or did you figure that out yourself?
You told me about it. I heard a lot of people really enjoy it. And I've been trying to buy more Superman books from that era.
Yeah.
I got the Legion of Superheroes. I got Up and Away. I got something else too. I can't remember what it was. But that's the other thing about. Oh, sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that what that book, Black Ring, and this book, Planet of the Apes, have in common is they were both recommendations from the guy who wrote my intro song that Geo mixed into our intro, and that's Nate Burkholtz from Redcoat Turncoat in Portland. He recommended this and Black Ring to me, and then I suggested it to Taylor. Taylor read it and loved it, so Nate gets a shout out because he will text me now and then and say, this book is awesome. And when he texts me that, I mean, he just got a tattoo, the most awesome tattoo of Crypto. He knows what I like. And what I like, of course, is Crypto, but he knows good DC comics. I don't think I get many Marvel recommendations from Nate. I think although he knows a lot of Marvel, I think most of his recommendations are DC.
I'm running low on space with my DC books. I think I decided I'm going to use this shelf over here as a DC overflow shelf because I have a lot of Marvel, but I have more DC stuff.
What's in your closet?
That's Marvel.
Okay.
But I will say, like I already said, you have to read Blackest Night, and I don't think you have to read everything in that era from Superman, but it's definitely references a lot of stuff from that era of Superman. That's for sure. Like Up and Away, it references the reign of Doomsday, I think it is. That kind of ties in with this series. I didn't read that, and I kind of just read between the lines. I pulled a Jess Bragg and said, I guess this is happening. And but I think you'll definitely enjoy it more if you know a little bit about that era of Superman.
Aiku, I think you're right. Marvel has way less standout one-and-done stories. I agree with that. I think one of the few that I can think of is very recent Spider-Man Life Story.
Vision.
By Chip Zdarsky. But you're right about that. The DC does have a lot more one-and-done stories, and maybe that's why Nate has so many recommendations. To Collector, I believe Monster Mash is a Walmart exclusive, although previously...
Come on. Walmart exclusive cereals? This is crazy.
Will you be quiet? Walmart...
I'm just tired of Walmart exclusives and Target exclusives for toys.
It's I'm totally with you.
Cereal exclusives, really?
It used to be Target exclusives for the Monster cereals. Or no, you could get the Monster cereals there, but the Christmas Crunch, Captain Crunch Christmas Crunch, has been exclusive also. And I've been a cereal collector for a long time, and so I go crazy between Target, Giant, and Walmart. I threw my hands in the air and just found a box on eBay for the key is to get low shipping. There's tons of people that'll sell it to you for like $6 a box, but they want $10 shipping. So the only way I did it was I would pay like $6 a box with like maybe $4 shipping, because these are so light. It really shouldn't be that much, although standard shipping is a lot more expensive than media mail. So the other thing is you could go to Walmart, but I'm not leaving my house for Walmart. That's just not happening.
Yeah, I think the best Marvel one-and-done stories that I can see is Marvel's, obviously. Black Bolt by Saladin Ahmed.
The Vision.
There's really not a Fury Max. That's fantastic.
We sold that out.
Really, Next Wave. That's fantastic. There's just not that many like that, though.
Yeah.
Marvel has better runs. DC has better like standalone stories.
Yeah. Okay, M-Man40 said he found it at ShopRite. So I would go to Target first. Look at Target first. Maybe Giant, if where you are, you have Giant. Maybe they'll have it. Or ShopRite, wherever that is. I'm not familiar with that. Where are you, M-Man40? Here's our buddy Farhan. Nice to see you guys as ever. This is a great topic as far as hidden gems go. Then Vertigo is the publication. Peace and love from Malaysia. here in the Netherlands, we just eat bread with chocolate sprinkles on it for breakfast. Who needs cereal when you have that? Well, I would never eat this for breakfast because I'd go straight back to bed with a sugar crash. I eat nothing but protein throughout the day, and then I have this at night because it helps me sleep. Bread with chocolate sprinkles on it. That's interesting. Well, you also have Stroop waffles, which I still haven't found, but that's more a function of not really wanting to leave the house. Punisher Platoon, that's another one. Nate the Great is getting some compliments.
And M-Man 40's from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Thanks, M-Man. Let's see. Is this so not the regular book market? I'm in Sweden, so we don't get special stuff here. I love the apes and have everything from Boom except the crossovers, but this is one I want because of Bagenda's art. Yeah. Well, I will put it's a regular book. This is a special book from CBDLF, but it's also a regular trade. And I don't think it's out of print, Mark or Jake. So I'll put a link for it in there, and you can go from there to whatever the equivalent is in the Netherlands or Sweden. Sorry. I don't think the Green Lantern Planet of the Apes book is out of print. So you should be able to get at least the trade. Oh, Stroop. Sorry. I always forget. Stroop waffle. Don't get mad.
How inconsiderate of you.
I know. Well, he did say sprunkles.
What's your next choice?
My next choice is going to be one that I believe. Did you just read this or have you just picked it up? Clean Room.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Well, I don't want to give it away. And I will say that the Clean Room, to me, I've read her Red Sonja. I've read her Wonder Woman. I've read her Birds of Prey. I've read her Secret Six. I'm talking about Gail Simone. This is her best work, in Omnidog's humble opinion. Obviously, you can disagree because those are all great books. Everything I named is a great read. Gail Simone, she also wrote Batgirl really well for New 52. Gail Simone, I think, is a name that's kind of famous, but I feel like she doesn't get enough love for all of her stuff like she should. I know her Convergence or DCU run of Secret Six wasn't that great. I'm not sure that's her fault. But Clean Room, to me, is her major achievement. And I don't want to spoil it for you. So I'm just going to read the back while showing you the fabulous John Davis Hunt art that's only in the first two trades. It has an artist in the third trade who's very close, but not quite John Davis Hunt. And that does sort of jar you a little bit. The story's just as good, but it's not John Davis Hunt, who I know is one of Taylor's and mine favorite artists.
I'm mixed on this because this series is supposed to be 50 issues at first, and it was cut short because sales were bad. And so they moved John Davis Hunt to Wildstorm. And that's one of my favorite books of the past 5 years. So that's a tough one. So the story was cut really short from what I've heard.
Yeah. So I don't know that enough people talk about Clean Room. They talk about all those other books, Birds of Prey, Secret Six, blah, 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 but I don't feel like people talk about Clean Room. Let me highlight myself and talk about it. Somewhere between the realms of self-help and religion lies the Honest World Foundation. Its creator started out as an obscure writer of disposable horror fiction who decided to change the world one mind at a time. Now its adherents rule Hollywood while obeying their leaders' every command. It sounds kind of familiar. But trust me, that's just the starting point. That's almost all anyone knows about the movement, or is it a cult founded by the reclusive guru Astrid Mueller? That's not much of a picture to look at. Let me find something better. Oh, this is founded by, but reporter Chloe Pierce is sure that there's something deeper hiding behind Honest World's facade. Her fiance was a devoted follower of Mueller right up to the moment when he blew his brains out while holding a copy of her book. Now Chloe wants answers from the woman whose words command the loyalty of millions. And she's ready to storm the top secret sanctuary known as the Clean Room to get them. But there's more to Astrid Mueller than Chloe could ever imagine. And the truth that she's about to discover is more astonishing than any of Astrid's accomplishments and more terrifying than any of her novels. So this is trippy. It deals with the cult-like atmosphere of the sort of self-help religious thing that she has a society that believes in her and reads her book, and they follow her every move. But there's a lot more to this. I mean, just the description I read, and here's the second book, Clean Room, second book, still John Davis Hunt art. It's quite an adventure, and I was not aware that it got cut short, and that's the reason why John Davis Hunt left. So that's interesting because I didn't notice. Whoops, I don't want to show that. That gives something away. None of this other stuff gives it away. I was unaware of that. So here's what the art looks like in the third book. It's still pretty close. It's close enough that I still dug it. And it's not too jarring. It's still really close to John Davis Hunt. So I will give Vertigo. Yeah, credit. DC Vertigo credit. They got an artist, Walter Giovanni, who was pretty close to John Davis Hunt because that was important. You couldn't bring in somebody completely different because I think that would ruin it. So I just genuinely think that this is Gail Simone's most brilliant, trippy, well thought out, well put together, most interesting, most compelling series that she's ever written. To think of where this book goes, I think is a testament to Gail Simone's mind as a fantasy fiction writer, because this goes in all kinds of different directions, and I think it's a sign of a really talented writer. And I'm sorry that it didn't sell well, but that's what I mean by underrated. I think it's brilliant.
I'll stick with the Vertigo trend. This is one of the final Vertigo books to be published that Jess and I both read, and I really enjoyed. I haven't heard enough people talk about it, and that's American Carnage.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This book's really cool. I'll show off some of the art and read the back.
Okay.
So former FBI agent Richard Wright is about to receive that rarest of gifts, a second chance, but like anything worth having, it carries a high price. After leaving the Bureau in disgrace following the accidental shooting of a child, Wright has been steadily failing to make a living as a private investigator, which obviously I really enjoy that kind of stuff. When his old mentor asked him to infiltrate a group of white supremacists in Los Angeles to discover who was responsible for the death of a fellow agent, he realizes that this is his last shot at redemption. This is a great crime story, as you all know, is my favorite genre in literature, in film, video games, anything. I love crime stories. And it's a very well-told crime story by Brian Hill, who's famous for doing Postal, which is one of Jess's favorite books.
Yeah.
And it's a great 9-issue miniseries. Ends really well. Great art by Leandro Fernandez, who's famous from the Old Guard with Greg Rucka. This is a great one-and-done crime story. I think a lot of people have slept on. I think more people need to read.
Nice. Yeah, you loved it, and I really, really liked it.
And Doc Collector, I'm pretty sure American Carnage is 9 issues. It's all collected in that one thick trade.
Farhan, I am doing several videos this month. So you have a lot to look forward to if you care about my videos. I've had a ton of live videos recently, so I need to start pumping out solo videos. A T agrees. Clean Room was great. Thank you. Farhan says Clean Room is Simone's best. Yes.
I am interested in reading her Batgirl run.
Sorry?
I'm interested in reading her Batgirl run.
Yeah. I almost picked this book, Ghost Who Walks. It was close to crossing midnight. It was right next to it, and I almost picked it. I agree. That is an underrated classic series to know about Madame Xanadu. It's really well done. And I will tell you about Crossing Midnight, which I think Ben Uncles said he did not care for, but that's cool. We're all different. We all like different things. This is by the great Mike Carey, and I say the great Mike Carey because I like almost everything he's written. I haven't read some. He wrote The Unwritten, and I genuinely like all his stuff that I've read. And I'll read the back. Fairy tale for horror fans. There are lines that nobody's meant to cross. In Nagasaki, Japan, a twin brother and sister, Toshi and Kai Hara, are born on either side of midnight, only a few minutes apart, but those few minutes will lead their lives down 2 very different paths. It's clear as she grows up that Toshi, the female twin, is something out of the ordinary. Nothing with a point or an edge can harm her. Knives will snap or bend rather than break her skin. And when she reaches her teens, a mysterious figure who calls himself Aratsu, the Lord of the Knives, comes to claim her as his servant. If Toshi agrees, she will have to leave Japan and the human world behind and cross into the world of the kami, the spirits who live in and rule over the everyday objects we make and use. She refuses. The consequences for her and for her family will be terrible beyond imagining. That is, unless her brother Kai can figure out what kind of hold the kami world has on Toshi and on the rest of the Haras. But Aratsu is only going to ask 3 times. This is a great... I should do just this, a video on just this for horror, because it's also, it deals with the spirit realm. So it's got a bit of the fairy tale aspect to it, but it's also horrifying. It's got the twins, the pull of the twins together, which gives it emotional depth because they have a connection between them. And they will do anything for each other, especially the brother is very caring of the sister. I think Mike Carey is an underrated writer. He's written a lot of good stories. I just read something really good by him that I'm going to review for my horror series for Spooktober. And I just I feel like he doesn't get credit. That here's a good panel. I feel like he just doesn't get the credit he deserves. Here's a guy getting his head lopped off. What the?
Maybe he's somebody we can get for an interview, Jess.
Oh, that's a great idea. I feel he's an underrated writer, and I feel like everything that I've read from him, granted, I probably haven't read everything by him, but everything I've read by him has been really spot on and great. And if it's Marvel or DC or an independent writer, actually, I can't think of what he wrote for Marvel. Maybe the chat knows, but
X-Men.
Oh yeah, but I haven't read that.
He's a bunch of X-Men, I think.
Yeah. You're right, but I haven't read any of it. So it's all in paperback or No, I got some of it in hardcovers and some of it in paperback.
He's most famous, I think, for his novel, The Girl with All the Gifts, that became a movie. And it's probably the thing he's most well known for. And just
how can he be well known for that if I've never heard of it?
Well, he don't read novels anymore.
But he said it was even a movie.
I don't know, Jess. I can't speak towards. I just know. I think I think his most famous work, in terms of the way he's written, is probably The Girl with All the Gifts.
I think his most famous work is Lucifer, and I haven't seen the show, but I loved the book, and I loved Highest House to the max.
That's a big book, isn't it? Like it's
Highest
really,
House.
It's like a big trade. It's like a big trade size, right?
Yeah,
like hardcover size.
So, yeah, you're right. I don't know anything about novels or his movie, so I don't know about that. That's right, Carl. If I haven't heard of it, nobody's heard of it.
If Jess hasn't heard of it, doesn't matter. Doesn't exist.
Sam says, Crossing Midnight is great for anyone with a passing interest in Japan, and the story is quite unpredictable in how it flows, too. I agree with that. Candace is still with us. Maybe Ben Uncles could set up your Mike Carey as guest.
They'll become best friends. Girl
with All the Gifts is the book I read first before his comics. The Felix Castor novels were good too. Is that something he wrote? Felix Castor novels?
I never read them, but I think he did write. I think he's written a bunch of novels. I just know that he's for just his novels at least. I know The Girl with All the Gifts is his most popular one.
Okay. This is a good one. I haven't read all of Northlanders, and I just picked up the first 3 Sandman Mystery Theaters because they're all out of print.
Northlanders is tough to get, man.
Sorry?
Those thick trades and Northlanders are tough to get. That's one thing my treasure troves have not turned up for me.
Oh, you're still looking for them? They did not stay in print very long.
No, I don't know. They might end up doing maybe compendiums, but I hate compendiums, so I'm not going to buy that. So, I don't know. I'll have to find it somehow. I don't feel like tracking down all those little small trades. I'd rather have the thick trades.
Yeah.
I'll be patient. I've gotten a lot of good stuff by being patient.
You are a very patient man. That is true. And I am the Bizarro version, or no, I'm the Star Trek mirror version of you. I am impatient, and I have a beard. So I'm the
I shaved mine today.
Yeah.
The one you're commenting there on the other night.
Tyler shaved too. I just saw his face.
He shaves every day.
For the first time, I didn't recognize him. He looked 40 years younger.
If Tyler shaves in the morning, then he's already has a full functioning beard.
Oh, totally.
While he's eating a cereal at nighttime.
Next, Imaginaut, another must-read Overlooked DC title that just occurred to me, and that you may have the trade paper of the 2011 reboot of John Rosam's Zombie. I don't have it, but I've heard of that. I don't think I have that. 2011. Ooh, I bet that's way out of print. Next, Imaginaut, send me your copies. And I'll read it. Is it just one trade? The Milestone iteration was one of the line's best series, and the reboot was equally good with some excellent Fraser Irving art. I do remember Zombie. And I remember Milestone. But that's it. Is that it? We've got everything?
I have one more.
Oh, you got one more. Good.
There's another treasure trove book that I got at one of my LCSs, and that's Ocean Orbiter.
Oh, yeah.
I love this so much. It's two miniseries by Warren Ellis, and Ocean, I believe, is by Chris Sprouse with art, and then Colleen Doran's on Orbiter. I love both of them.
I do too. I got Colleen Doran's autograph on it at AwesomeCon 2019, 2018.
But both of these series are very, very interesting. They're space-centric sci-fi stories. Ocean is much more far-flung future where you're in deep space. There's a lot of action, a lot of battles in this. It's really, really interesting. I think it's focused on one of the moons of Jupiter, if I'm remembering correctly, the moon Europa. And then Orbiter is a lot more, I don't want to say down to earth because there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in it. But pretty much this spaceship comes back that's been missing for a very long time. and there's an alien entity within it that they're trying to figure out, understand. Is it hostile? Is it dangerous? And it's very much a deep meditation on space exploration and why it's so important for mankind.
Oh,
and
you're making me want to read it again.
It's fantastic. I know this is hard to find, but if you can find this, definitely buy it. It's a great deluxe edition that I really enjoyed.
It's hard to find now?
That's why I got it at my LCS. Yeah, it's really hard to find.
Oh.
So I got this off of your recommendation because you told me it's fantastic, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a very underrated Vertigo title that not a lot of people know about.
Here's Candace with a good idea. Would really love a collection of Vertigo Shade the Changing Man. I haven't read the most recent iteration, Shade the Changing Girl. That's the animal line. I have them, but I haven't read it yet. Have you read those, Candace? Shade the Changing Girl? I feel like Peter Milligan doesn't get enough respect. I liked his Green Lantern. I liked his Red Lantern a lot. I know that Charles Soule is the one, his issues are the one that people really like a lot. And I do too, because that's when Supergirl gets to become a Red Lantern, which was one of my all-time favorite moments in comic history. But I loved the Red Lantern Peter Milligan stories too, and they all flowed together for me. I don't know why people do. I don't know why people don't like things. I just know what I like, and I know I like the Peter Milligan Red Lantern. I like a lot of Peter Milligan Vertigo stuff. It's out there. It's trippy. I think he's a good writer. As Riley would say, he's a very divisive writer.
Not everyone's a rider of the raft like you are, Jess.
Minister of Comics blesses thee, Ocean Orbiter. Not the newish girl series. Changing Man is awesome. No, I know what you meant. I'm just asking if you read the newish girl series. I read Shade the Changing Man back when it first came out. Back when my daughter was not yet born. So that must have been 1990. Next Imagineot, stay patient, Candace. It'll come. Use the Minister of Comics Zen idea. He's centered. He's patient. He's calm.
I'm just a cheapskate, like Jess knows.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true, too. I had to pay him right away for books that I don't even get yet.
Jeez. Airing dirty laundry.
I'm just I'm totally teasing.
I'm going to take the high road, not say anything.
Yeah, I'm the low road. I'm totally teasing you.
I'll be highbrow. You can be lowbrow.
I have not read Girl. Okay. I am totally good-naturedly teasing you. Peace and love. Peace and love. I just don't get upset.
I'm not upset.
I know. I don't want you to be upset. That's the last thing I want.
George is getting upset.
Also add American Century by Howard Chaykin. I've read that. That's good. I also like, it's very racy, and I definitely would not recommend it to Taylor, but Satellite Sam is way too racy for either Tyler or Taylor. But anybody out there who wants a R-rated trippy book about the 50s television, a drama about it's kind of a comedy drama, dramedy. That's what they call it. Wait a minute. Did he write Satellite Sam, or did Matt Fraction write?
Matt Fraction wrote it, and Howard Chaykin did the art.
Okay, that's why it's okay. That's what no, that's definitely
it's not. It's too bad, because that era really interests me. I'm actually burning through some James Ellroy novels right now. Did you ever read James Ellroy back in the day?
I read The Black Dahlia.
I just started that today.
Oh.
I just read his newest book called Widespread Panic, about a real life guy from the 50s named Freddie Otash, who was he was actually the private eye that they modeled Jake Gittes after in Chinatown.
Mm.
and he was like the known fixer for the studios back then. He worked for Confidential magazine. Do you know what that is? It was like
No.
it was like a tabloid of celebrities. It's kind of like an LA Confidential on the QT, very hush hush, that whole thing. And it was a really great book where like James Dean's the main character in it. And he's kind of a jerk in it, and he's involved in some really shady stuff. They have a bunch of other famous actors in it. And
You finished the book?
I just finished it. Natalie Wood's in it, actually.
Ooh. Whoa. What's it called?
Widespread Panic.
Widespread Panic.
It just came out this year, and so now I'm going back and reading the Black Dahlia. I've seen LA Confidential so many times, but I do want to read the book. Even I've heard it's only like a fourth of the book is the movie, so I've heard it's really, really good, and I'm really enjoying his stuff so far. So I like that 50s style stuff, kind of like the Fade Out, where they're trying to track down commies and things like that, and try to weed out. I think that era is fascinating after World War II, where we turn, because whenever we went into World War II, we know eventually the Russians are going to be our adversaries. And it's interesting to see that the tides change from Nazis and fascism to communism in America.
In a day.
At the snap of a finger.
Right.
And it's interesting how different the world would have been if Hitler hadn't tried to invade Russia. he definitely shot himself in the foot there. That's what turned the tide of the war.
Well, yeah, and the fact that he kept micromanaging Rommel too in the desert, his best military man had I don't know. Well, we're on the subject, so I'm just going to go with it. If Hitler had just not messed with anything and not invaded Russia and let Rommel do his thing, I think the world would be much different now. We're very fortunate that Hitler micromanaged Rommel and invaded Russia. Had he stuck to the non-invasion pact and let Rommel do his thing, it would have been a much different I think it would have been a much different thing.
And Japan attacking America was also a very bad idea. That was a very, very bad idea.
On the list of history's bad ideas, where do you think that ranks?
I mean, once America got involved in the war, I think everybody knew who was going to win eventually.
Right.
And then with Russia, it just wasn't even a contest. And everyone's probably signing off right now. But I think that era after World War II is fascinating. Just the Red Scare, Red Panic, just that whole era. I know you were born at the very tail end of that. Right. But obviously communism was still a big fear when you were growing up, I'm sure.
Yeah,
until the Berlin Wall was torn down. Was that 91?
It was 89, 90, something. I have the same interest you do. I grew up having that interest, so we share that interest in the I would say the latter part of the war through all of the 50s. It's an amazing time that I think the tide turned when JFK had such a backbone about Cuba, and then the blockade happened. He actually had the nerve to start a blockade of the Russian ships coming into Cuba. That's the closest we've come to it, to the big bombs dropping. So that's also a fascinating. That's also that October in '62, I think it was. That's also a fascinating time period to study.
JFK was a big part of this book too. He was a character in the book because he's a senator at this point.
And is he sleeping with Natalie Wood and Marilyn Monroe and everybody else?
Yeah, he's because they're big time tapping him and trying to follow him to get him in the Confidential magazine. And the main character Fred is friends with JFK, and just all the people he slept around with and all the different drugs he was taking. Things like it's a fictionalized version of the story. I'm not saying that all the things that they said that JFK did in this book is what he actually did, but he's pretty well known for doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic book.
It sounds like it. You make me want to. Maybe if I can get enough videos done for this month, I can actually read that book because it sounds fascinating.
It was one of those books where I didn't always know what was going on because there's so many names, so many celebrities, but the language is just he's such like a staccato tone that's so quick, short sentences, short bursts. It's just really, it's like you're really immersed in this world of the 1950s, and that was really cool. So maybe if you have time, Jess.
I would love it. I would really love to read that. It sounds brilliant. Just the entire Young Animal line is worth a read and really deserves to be collected in total 1 to 2 omnis. At its best, it's on par with upper mid-tier Vertigo, as an example, Post Morrison Animal Man, and you need to number your things next. Imagine I could have stood to continue for a couple more years before getting the rug pulled out from under it. I that's another thing that I think annoys us both, is when really good things gets the rug pulled out from under them before they can come to an end, like iZombie. It could have been even more brilliant had they let it finish. Clean Room, ignore the sales and let it finish.
That's hard for a business to get behind.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm not saying I support the decision to cancel it, but it is hard.
Yeah,
to convince a business to not think about the sales.
Yeah, I know. You're right. But that does drive me crazy when great series get the rug pulled out from under it. Oh, well, this is a good point. We only went after Cap punched Hitler in the face. Totally good point.
And Superman and all them getting involved too.
Yeah.
That's the last time you'll ever see that in comics, with them actually putting main scale superheroes into an actual war that's going on in the present.
Yeah,
like Superman, Spider-Man, Captain. You're never going to see that again.
Who would they even fight now?
I mean, maybe there was. I'm sure that there's probably some issues where they were involved in some of our efforts in the Middle East. But I don't know. But you're never going to see that like it was back then. Like totally just like gung ho, let's go America.
Yeah,
that was kind of the last time. Like I don't think they ever really touched Vietnam when that was going on.
Gosh, not that I can remember.
Well, I think because World War II is the last war that we can think of where everyone was in agreement. Like we all have to get involved in this.
Right.
We have to get involved. Like I can't think of a war since then where it's like, yeah, this is obviously what everyone thinks we should do. So that's the last time I think we're going to see that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. Iron Man was in Iran. I'm sorry, Vietnam and Iraq. I didn't read that. Just there was a Russian submarine captain that received a false order to launch nuclear warheads. Oh, is this during the Bay of Pigs that you're referring to, Carlin? Carlin talked about Bay of Pigs back here. Okay, I forget. Thankfully, he refused. I believe he won the Nobel Peace Prize. You mean they didn't kill him immediately when he got home? Well, I guess it was a false order, so it's good that he did that. I actually didn't know that, Carl. Where can I find that? Oh, Flesh Jackson was the one that said the closest unclassified brinksmanship. That I'm not. I don't want to turn this into it. Oh, well, viewership has gone up since we started talking about it. So maybe people want to hear about communism and things.
Did you ever see that movie 13 Days about the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah,
I saw that as a kid. I saw it in 2000 when I was 10 years old, and it bored me to tears. I'm sure I would like it now, though.
Oh, you'd love it.
As a 10-year-old, that's not a good movie to take a 10-year-old to.
No.
I did not like it because there's a lot of talking. And I was like, why aren't they shooting missiles at each other?
You'd love it now.
I should probably try that. I really love the issues of Fury Max about Cuba and the Bay of Pigs and everything.
Yeah.
That's a great comic to read if you want to read about some of the communistic insurgencies and operations after World War II. And it kind of takes Nick Fury throughout those times. Like the battles with the Contras, with Bay of Pigs. What else was it? I can't remember all their stuff. We had that like 2 years ago. It's hard to remember.
Is that the book we sold out that day?
On Amazon, yeah.
That's by Garth Ennis, right?
Yeah, nobody writes war like Garth Ennis.
No, not at all.
And we at some point want to do a war episode on Garth Ennis on Crime Corner.
Maybe we should have an episode that's on Crime Corner. Maybe we should, and it's not good for Baturdays. Maybe we should just invent a show about war.
A third show.
A third show.
Do we dare?
I better get it. I
It
better
would
get
just
it.
be Garth Ennis, though.
What's that?
It would just be a Garth Ennis show.
Well, that's
How many-
okay. I mean, I got a whole shelf of Garth Ennis Battlefield stuff. I think we could. Well, I don't know if it'd be a third ongoing show. I
Just one
better get you
episode.
before baby Emmy's born.
Yeah, I'd be pretty busy then.
Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get you on the air then.
Yeah, Roberto, I was 10 in 2000. I was born in 1990. I think I'm a year older than your daughter, right?
You are, yeah. She was born in 1991.
I just turned 31 last week. I'm getting old.
This now has me wanting to watch Amazon's alternate history space race TV show For All Mankind.
I've heard that's good.
That reminds me of The Man in the High Castle, about Philip K. Dick's, based on Philip K. Dick's books. I read all of those as a young man, and I read The Man in the High Castle, and that's an alternate version where the Axis wins and the United States is carved up. Japan has the western part, and Germany, I don't think Italy gets anything, but I can't remember. Germany gets the other part. But I would like to see Man in the High Castle. That's another alternate history show that's good. For All Mankind. Wait, I better add
I think it's
that.
on Apple TV, actually. I think if I'm remembering. Man in the High Castle's on Amazon. I think For All Mankind's on Apple. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay. Well, I have, every streaming service that
I have Apple TV for Ted Lasso.
For All Mankind. I know we're watching that after Schitt's Creek. For All Mankind. Right. You and me both, Roberto.
Jess, you're 30. You're 30 at heart, though.
I feel like I'm 15 at heart.
Whenever you come and visit, I feel like you won't feel like you're old. I feel like we'll both feel like we're the same age.
Right. Well, I felt your guys' age when you visited.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Well, we'll feel our age when we're eating permani sandwiches and running around buying comics.
And drinking milkshakes. I want 40 milkshakes.
At the Milkshake Factory, yeah.
But it's right from near my hotel, right?
Yep, right down the street.
Oh, drop me off. I'll be walking right down there.
We're getting the midnight cookies and cream.
You bet. How late are they open?
I don't know. I'm sure like 9 or something like that. So we'll make sure we stop there. Don't worry. It's right next to your hotel and really close to my house.
Okay, good.
I probably shouldn't give people my location. I probably shouldn't help people know where I live. Disregard that.
They know you live in Pittsburgh. We talked about that.
I don't want to narrow down my location though.
Oh, he's just
They'll have satellite imagery looking for my.
Oh, I know. I posted something accidentally on Facebook or Instagram, and it was, I forget, it had my address on it, and then I scratched it out and reposted it, and I got a Facebook message from a friend who looked at my house from my address and sent me a picture of my house.
Well, that's creepy.
Oh boy, yeah, I was not happy.
At least it was
that.
a friend.
Yeah, fortunately I can trust him. He's in England, but yeah, that kind of freaked me out that he sent me a picture of my house.
It'd be creepier if it was like a picture from your window of you sitting in your chair.
Google's got everything figured out. I'm not sure I like it. Here's Harrowing 2.0. We haven't heard from him for a while. He had great questions for us the other night, I think. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Watchmen. I know it's blasphemous. No, it's cool. I really like Moore's alternate history for the U.S. in that book, where Nixon was still in charge for 8 straight elections, and what's his name? Dr. Manhattan just blazed through Vietnam, solving the problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that didn't actually solve the problem.
Right.
Yeah, Marcelo, good thing there wasn't a picture of Jess sleeping. That would have been creepy.
Ooh.
That's a horror movie premise.
Nothing's better than a milkshake. I agree. I've got one of the old green soda fountain milkshake mixers. That's bitchin'.
You should have that for your diner downstairs, Jess.
You're right. I've just got a regular milkshake maker for
And
it.
a soda fountain, but you're not using it though.
I'd use this thing. Oh, that sounds so cool, Texas. Milkshakes are great before and while you're drinking them. Then there's afterwards. When you have another milkshake? You mean? Sounds like it to me. I was told a few hours ago Carvel has a few Halloween shakes this year. I'm not sure what flavors they are. Are there any Carvel shops near you?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, they're the ones that make Cookie Puss and Fudgy the Whale cakes.
I don't know what that is. Wait, what was the first thing you said? What is
Cookie Puss. That's a real thing. I'm not making it up. Right in Man 40, Cookie
sure,
Puss and Fudgy the Whale.
This is a Hayden meme written all over it. I'm probably gonna get a meme at like 11 o'clock, like midnight tonight.
Yeah, it's an ice cream store. It's a chain, but they also sell their cakes in Safeway and stuff. And they make ice cream cakes that are unbelievable. And one of them's Fudgy the Whale. It looks like a whale, but I can't remember what Cookie Puss looks like. I think it's a cat.
Sorry, we don't have any here. At least not to my knowledge. I can look, but I'm pretty sure I would hear about this.
Carvel must not be in the Pittsburgh area. Aren't you from Pittsburgh, Mr. Awesome? Fudgy the Whale. Candace knows it.
Apparently there is one that's like, let's see how far. It's 42 minutes away from me. Never heard of that.
I'll be okay with the milkshake shop.
I'm not planning to drive 42 minutes to go to get a cookie to get a Cookie Puss.
Are you sure you don't want to see exactly what it is?
I can look it up online. I probably should look that up online.
Yeah, and then Kate comes in. Cookie Puss, what are you doing, Taylor?
Yeah, that's probably not a good thing to look up.
Flying saucers, Fudgy the Whale, Cookie Puss. Yeah, see, I'm not making it up.
Sorry. I don't know why every time you say it, I still laugh the same exact amount.
Oh, Flush Jackson. It's are great. Yeah, you can't get them anywhere but Northern California. Every time I go home to Carmel, that is one of the first things I do. And I don't like any flavor but the original flavor. I know they got a ton of new ones. It's a really good couple of cookies with ice cream in the middle and then chocolate covered, but it's high quality cookie and high quality ice cream. And because I remember Dove bars used to be popular, but the ice cream in a Dove bar was really bad. But it's holy smoke, those things are good. You don't have Cookie Puss in Europe?
It's Crumpet Puss there.
Stroke Puss.
Oh man, what have we descended into?
I think it's probably time. Wait, we'll talk one more time about our spot. I always hit the wrong thing.
For all of you viewers who've trudged along with us for 2.5 hours, you were able to enjoy the delights of Cookie Puss at the very end of the show. That's your reward for watching for so long.
Dying Breed Collectors has free shipping all this month if you use the code Trick or Treat. Buy 6 or 7 Omnis at the already discounted price. Have them shipped to you with free shipping. I will put that code in the description after this, along with the books we've read. And hopefully they're mostly in print. If not, it'll be the Kindle edition, or perhaps somebody's selling them used from Amazon, whatever.
You should have put the Carvel link.
Okay, I will. I will find Cookie Puss and put Cookie Puss also in the description, so people can know. Even the Europeans can know what Cookie Puss looks like. That's a great idea. So Taylor, where can they find you on social media?
They can find me at Minister of Comics on Instagram, where I post hauls, reviews, And I haven't done a toy photography picture in a while, but every once in a while, that'll be on there as well. So give me a follow at Minister of Comics.
Jeff Parker follows you now, right?
He does. That was pretty cool. It's been pretty cool. Whenever you tag creators, sometimes they'll like it, sometimes they'll comment. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you and I have both.
I only tag them when I have good things to say about their book. If I don't like their book, I don't tag them.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
I think you and I both have gotten responses from Tom Taylor, one of our favorite writers.
Yes, I have.
I think who is your favorite writer as of right now?
Ed Brubaker is always going to be my favorite.
Always your favorite.
I think right now my top 3 are Ed Brubaker, Greg Rucka, and Tom Taylor.
Okay.
Comic writers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, let's see, Lou brought up a good point with Donnie Cates.
I've read a couple things from him that I didn't fully enjoy. I haven't read anything I've hated, but I feel like those other guys I've always had hits every single time.
Oh, here's Mr. Awesome with a good observation. Tangents are the bread. Topic is the meat.
That's a good way to put it.
Burdell just picked up the Absolute Long Halloween. Oh, that's a good score from an LCS this week. It's just coming out in a deluxe this month.
I'm excited for whenever we do that live show after our LCS hunts, Jess. That'll be fun. Hope we'll have a lot to show for it.
Yeah. Hope that I'm still upright and not just knocked out, drowsy, old man sleepy from all the...
We'll have to make sure we get the sweets after.
Yeah.
After we do the hunting.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with that. You can find me on Instagram at omnidogs_vault. I'll put everything I can remember as a topic in this description, including Cookie Puss, which I've got to send a picture to Taylor of, because I don't want his wife, to see his history.
So it's better if you send me a picture yourself.
Yeah, you can delete it after that in our messaging, in text messaging.
All right, it's time to end this. This road isn't going anywhere good.
Right. I feel like I want to play the theme song again and end the show.
Let's do that.
Okay. Okay, wait. I have to. Not yet. Okay. So everybody, peace and love. Peace and love. Going to play the theme song. And what are the potatoes? Action figures? Yes.
And Candace, good callback to Jess and Riley getting haircuts.
What a great callback, Candace. Nicely done.
And with that, we'll wrap up with our song.
We will. If I can find it. Okay. Peace and love, everybody. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. We will answer comments. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Batterdays.